What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Dave Knows Wrestling live stream. I'm your host, David Lee. How is everybody doing on this Friday? Back for the Friday show. Hope everyone is enjoying themselves. It's been a week. I wouldn't say a hectic week or a big week, just a week. Stuff has happened. It feels like big stuff has happened, but I don't think more so than normal. Like there's some weeks in wrestling where big things happen nonstop, and just can't keep track of it. Double A, my man, welcome, welcome, welcome. Perhaps. What's up, Frisco Flame? See you in April. Yeah, there's stuff I don't know. That's why it's not the name of this channel. I'm gonna be Harry this stream. So you're going to be all about Nikki Bella? How's it going, brother? How's it going? Indeed, Zach Rowe. Good. How you doing? Razor Blade. Love the Friday streams. Me too. Hello, hello. Rio Willis Jones. How you doing, TJ? Good. Hey, Dave. How's it going? Good. How's it going with you, Metalhead Wrestling? Arthur Pryor, Senor Hederado. You heard the news about Nikki Bella? That she's like the third highest paid woman in WWE, I think. Third. Hey Dave, May 19th, I'm going to attend WWE Money in the Bank at the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut. I will be sitting front row, Boone Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, and Eric Becky Lynch. Nice. Well, hey, have fun with that. That sounds cool. Yo, Super Ermac. One of the most underrated ninjas there is in Mortal Kombat. And I don't know about any of you guys, but I myself am getting kind of psyched for this new Mortal Kombat game. Despite one voice actor who has no business in voice acting. No, Dave, you heard she is the best. Oh. Harry's going to be mad you stealing his gimmick. Stacey Keebler for a Hall of Fame. That's a good one. I don't think they'll do her and Tori Wilson the same year, though. What up with Ronda? What's up with Ronda? A lot of people all wondering about Ronda Rousey breaking the kayfabe. Exposing the business on the Twitters and the YouTubes and the Insta Google Twitter tweets or whatever she's doing it on. Hater Otto. Okay. I didn't know your made up word had a proper pronunciation, but that sounds like something you would do, Arthur. I want to see Kairi Sane use the pirate ship at Tampa Bay. Yep. She overtake that. She has to, yeah. True Sinister Ron. Hey, Cody Omega. What? Hold on. How goes it, everyone? Hey, Moret. New Mortal Kombat feels disappointing me already. It hasn't even come out yet. ¿Qué es tu problema con Mortal Kombat? Melina for a Hall of Fame. Yeah, well, that'd be interesting to see if when they bury that hatchet. Guillermo Torres, hello. I have a question for you about mid-card titles, actually. All right, Luna Corva, welcome to the live chat and live stream. And yeah, what is your question? Oh, hold on. I want MK versus Street Fighter. I want that too. New MK game is going to be awesome. Salute. I dislike Ronda, but I like the tweets. Frisco Flame. How cold will it be? Well, who knows? This morning when I woke up, it was 27. Now it's 57. So who knows? Yeah, this is it should be relatively mild come April, I think, but who knows? This has been a weirdly odd March. We had 80 degrees last month. For one day, it was 80 degrees in February. So I want to give you an answer, but I don't think anyone knows. Are you going to watch Captain Marvel? I am. Me and Elmer from Monday Night Raw are going to watch tomorrow. Hey, True Sister. I want to, but I can't understand how companies don't want their characters to get decapitated. Having Ronnie's. Okay. Hey, everything is a work, including this comment. Whoa, Anthony. Well, if you find the time to mosey on across the street, Anthony, fine by me. Just letting you know. Just throwing that out there. With them so determined to shoehorn Charlotte into Becky and versus Ronda. Who the heck is Asuka going to fight at Mania? Disappointingly enough, according to some news about I just heard about WWE salaries and how much wrestlers get paid based off of, from my understanding, a sampling from mid last year. Asuka gets paid the same amount of money as Curtis Hawkins, and if that is true, that is extremely disappointing. I know new game doesn't get me excited. The majority of the reboot hasn't done it for me. I get you. I like the original reboot. There were parts of it that I liked from the last game. As a whole, yeah, it did leave kind of flat. But Cassie Cage is like my new favorite like character from like from like I don't know fiction. Like it's just a recent character that has been created that I'm all about. And I'm not the big. Nice, Anthony. MK's not a work. That's real. I seen it on the TV. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, we'll definitely be getting Fastlane predictions. More. If people got to stop being so sensitive about seeing their characters get like hurt or anything, it's fiction. Especially like if DC had a problem with it, which they didn't. But DC like they kill off their characters all the time and they're fine. I understand the game mechanics don't mesh well. They make very low sense. You mean Curtis Axel or Kurt Hawkins? I'm sorry, did I say Curtis Axel? I meant Kurt Hawkins. Yes, Frisco, you're absolutely right. Kurt Hawkins. Asuka makes the same amount of money as Kurt Hawkins from the report I just saw. So that is amazing. Dave, who's the next GM going to be? On the Discord? I think I'm done. I made Steve Discord because it was requested. Candice Michelle for Hall of Fame? Yeah, why not? Asuka should be getting paid more than Charlotte. Well, that's not going to happen. Dave, hey, dude, hey, Harry Flynn, somebody's been ripping off your gimmick. Not going to say who, but somebody's been ripping you off here. Dave, you heard of Mark Haggerty? Yes. Won Royal Rumble on Grimm's Toy Show yesterday. Yes, of course. No, I know Mark Haggerty in person. I might see him tomorrow, actually. I might. I'm not sure. I have a very busy day tomorrow. But yes, of course I know Mark Haggerty. Very nice guy, by the way. Hey, Dave. He also called into the Royal Rumble radio show while I was a guest, so he also got to call in the show there. Hey, Dave, maybe Becky Lynch versus Ronda might involve MMA horsewomen setup. Maybe. With Ronda, do you agree? I think that's a possibility. I think that's not a bad possibility. Although I think the Mania match should end clean. I wouldn't mind it if they, after the match, they set that up. How do you feel about Ronda Rousey's situation? They're trying anything she can with her. They're just, throwing things at the wall. She can't talk. She really can't. And I think she mentioned she has, I think it was called apraxia or something. Something that makes it hard for her, or nervous. She gets nervous when she's speaking in public. But then don't give her promos. Because the Monday Night Raw thing, when she turned heel, she just... And it was like, what did you just say? Wow, that was... I hit fast forward by accident. Then stop letting her talk. I decided just one chat. I'm just going to try to take over the chat. Only talking about Justina. Well, you just answered how that's going to go. Eric Dennis. What's up, Eric Dennis? Not a fact, your opinion. That's not a fact. It's your opinion. Plus, Charlotte has been there longer and means more to the company. Tell Monica I said hi. If I see him. I may not. Imagine if Brock wrestled Taker's last get. Ugh, no, I don't want to imagine Brock doing anything other than going away from the WWE and wrestling. Period. Do you think Tommy gonna what? Can you maybe lay the? Nope, I cannot. Fan, just saying. When HBK dominates some streams, they get kind of long and boring. I don't think I've done that in a while. Just asking that we not talk about. Yeah, well, CTJ, here's the problem on the internet. As soon as you say that, you have now just opened up the troll floodgates, and someone is going to ask. Oops. I will try to ignore it, but I make no promises. Being in the company longer doesn't make you a better wrestler. That is true. Do you think Tommy Dreamer is going to be in the Hall of Fame? Oh, Tommy, maybe? I think everybody gets it, so I don't even think. If the rumors are true that Taz is going in this year, I don't think Tommy Dreamer will. I think they will separate. I don't think they'll stack the deck too much. They might. You never know, but I don't think they will. My boy, Ciampa's injured, unfortunately. Yeah, Ciampa is injured, looking like he's going to have to vacate the title. Very, very sad, especially since he had the leg injury the year before. Very, very upsetting. I hope he's okay because Big Ciampa fan, so really hope he's all right. But with them filming multiple endings for NXT, I kind of think we know which angle they're going with now. Got in the Hall of Fame, they wouldn't have to tiptoe around. Well, China's getting in this year, and they're not talking about it. Tori Wilson's getting in, they're not talking about it. So I don't think they have to tiptoe around the issue. It's really not an issue. They just don't bring it up. Better wrestler. I mean, you saying she's a better wrestler is an opinion. There's no real way to measure that. I can't measure who's a better wrestler. Wow, that's an interesting conversation Razor Blade and AJ are about to have. I also said it means way more WWE in terms of media and press conferences and whatnot. She's featured more. What about Raven for Hall of Fame? What about me? What about Raven? Yeah, absolutely Raven should get in the Hall of Fame. I don't think this year, again, because I think they won't stack too many ECW guys together. But yeah, of course he does. Did we ever see both Chameleon and Chameleon together in Mortal Kombat game? Ooh, I like that question. Maybe. She does mean more WWE. That doesn't mean she's a better wrestler. Tori Wilson. Yeah, exactly, Harry Flynn. Aren't you a little young to know that? Most underrated MK character. Well, as I said, I'm a huge Cassie Cage fan, and I think it's harder for the newer characters because I think the original, like from the first two games, if you didn't get introduced in the first two games, I think it's harder for you to get as much attention. Not saying that they don't, but most of their beloved characters or most recognized characters came out in either one or two, with only an occasional character coming out as the games progressed. Like Kenshi was pretty popular, and I like Kenshi too, but I think Cassie just being involved in the last game, because I absolutely love Cassie Cage. I think she's fantastic. And I'm not like an undercut, the haircut, the undercut. I'm not an undercut guy, but I'm like disappointed that Cassie doesn't have her undercut in this because I think it worked for her character. So, yeah, I'm not trying to mark out for Cassie Cage, but I'm like marking out for Cassie Cage. But now they made Cassie Cage I feel like they made Cassie Cage look-wise just Sonya's again. It's just, like a repeat of Sonya. And I was like, what? We have the Sonya. But granted, I don't want to hear this Sonya talk, but whatever. Where is Zach? Where is Zach? You attacked Ciampa. Why'd you do that, Harry Flynn? Did he say something about Nikki Bella or something? If Asuka was pushed as hard as Charlotte, she would be there. Am I missing this? Am I missing this conversation between Razor Blade and AJ? Let's see, feature because she's not the type of woman Vince likes. Oh. Love Asuka, but sometimes WWE fans of Asuka might be popular with hardcore fans, but she's not with casuals. But what do you really say about Candice Michelle apart from how good she? What Drew Carey was? Real Will Jones, I've said it over and over again. Hall of Fame is virtually meaningless to me. I don't care what they do. They put everybody in there who's even remotely identifiable. They put people in there who never even wrestled for your company. So, and just shove everybody in it. So. A Walter versus Braun feud. I don't think anytime soon, but that would be a good one. Popularity and wrestling ability is not the same. That is true. Where is Cody? Hey, Dave, did you know that Fox... Why do you delete messages? You just leave it. Hey, Dave, I had a funny interaction with a wrestler yesterday. Oh, yeah? What did you do, Harry Flint? What was your interaction? Dave, have you heard of Belloc, the Scrap Mortal Kombat? Yes, I have. Like... I don't think I'm like a super big MK fan, but the more people talk to me about it and weird stuff about it, I end up like getting into it and talking about it and knowing what their meaning is. It's like, I guess I am more of a Mortal Kombat guy than I think. Taz getting in confused. It's just a rumor. I'm not saying that he is. It's just a rumor that he's getting inducted. Unless they confirmed it, I just don't know it yet. Taz getting in confuses me for ECW maybe, but when he was in WWE, he was Coco Beware. Oh, my feelings. Yeah, no, they treated him terribly. They treated him terribly in WWE. Charlotte is more, but, they might even consider him for his work as an announcer. If you liked him as an announcer. Wasn't my favorite, but, Charlotte is more popular overall. It's featured because Vince likes. But I will say I called him to Taz's radio show, and I got to speak with him. This was a long time ago, very nice guy. I do like Taz. I don't necessarily love the commentary, just because I have this thing about accents. Even though from New York, I still don't like New York. I don't like regional accents for national television. That's just a broadcasting thing. I'm here. I evaded like the X. Whoa. Okay. Apparently, I have a visitor. Hang tight. Anthony? Hey, Ann. Everything Anthony are good.
I'll tell you a little story.
Hold the seat behind me. All right, so you saw him in the chat about a couple of minutes ago. Anthony, wow, you really have the whole wrestling podcast. Are you still on the phone?
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm a rookie at this.
Okay. Yeah, come on in. Scooch in, please.
All right.
All right. All right. So yes, me and Anthony used to work together, very close by. So he's back in Nasty Nate Hooker. What did I miss here? Don't diss Coco Beware. That is true. Don't diss Coco Beware. I'll move over.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Albert, is that you? No, that is not Albert. It is definitely not Shawn Michaels because this is a good person.
yeah, that right.
Could it be dual? No, it is not dual. No, it's not us. Okay, so AG Envoy and Razorblade have been arguing about whether or not good is objective or not, which has been an interesting conversation. But yeah, Anthony Diamante, he was up in the chat just a minute ago.
How are you? Bunch of marks. I'm playing the heel.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah, now we know. But
All right.
well, someone seems to agree.
All right. I'm doing my best, Dean Ambrose.
I enjoy Taz as an announcer quite a bit, actually. I get it. Like, he was funny, don't get me wrong, but I have this thing about regional accents. Cena has been with WWE for over a decade. Asuka and Charlotte have been there with the company for about the same amount of time. You're perfect to channel. All right. Joined it. Wow, Double A really pitching the Discord. I didn't know you were friends with Eli Drake. Eli Drake? He's like a lot bigger than Eli Drake because he can wear adult-sized clothing.
That is true.
I hated Taz in WWE. I hated what they did with him in WWE. I put it that way.
Yeah.
I don't think it was his fault. Like, I'm not going to put it on that guy.
They kind of jobbed him out, but didn't he get hurt?
Yeah, but still, even when he wasn't hurt, they still chopped him out.
They did job him out.
Oh yeah, King Kong Bundy. Yeah, Keith Flint.
Pete Flint with the guy from Prodigy? What? What was that? Because they said Keith Flint and King Kong Bundy?
Well, I don't think they were together.
No. Yeah, the singer of Prodigy. Boom. He's a jobber.
Here he goes. Well, apparently he's not alive anymore.
Well, sorry. Rest in peace, jobber.
The link to the Discord doesn't work for Anthony if he's sitting here. You can't click on the screen. But I appreciate you guys throwing the Discord link out there. So I hope that was just in general, not for Anthony. Robert Reflex. Where's Matty Action? How come he's not on here right now?
I don't know.
I wonder what he would say if he knew. If he knew. Is that Elijah Wood? Oh, whenever there's a new guest on, everybody likes to say who the guy is, and so far we haven't been close yet.
Hi.
What?
Thank you so much.
I'm the hot girl that works here. Bye.
Check. I told you I came to collect.
Oh, yo.
Everybody's got a price.
Oh, yeah, right. I was like,
Now that business is done.
the amazing
Let's
thing
get
is,
back to
she
some
doesn't
wrestling.
realize that she wasn't actually on the camera, but she thinks she They saw
You're
like a
getting-
sliver of her on the door.
You're getting invaded today, man.
Yeah, I guess so. Was that Jenna? That was not Jenna. No. No, definitely not Jenna. No.
Thoughts on Nikki Bella? Did I jump ahead?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Thoughts on Nikki Bella?
I have no idea where Jenna is. But
Well, yeah, Nikki Bella's top notch, man.
I
I mean, wait, as far as wrestling goes, or
Harry Flynn, a big Nikki Bella fan, so he asks everybody, like every new guest, he has to get their verdict to know if they're a friend or a foe based off of Nikki Bella. I think
Well,
we disagree with him on everything. Oh, and Double A is also going to ask about William Regal.
oh, I think William Regal or Steven Regal is awesome. He's well underrated. Kind of like he's better than Fit Finley, but he's in that underrated category.
Yes, Rob Reflex, I do have a new different guy with gum. That is apparently a different guy with gum.
Sorry, I didn't
Does
want-
anyone call you Slice anymore?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
a little bit.
Then I'll go back to doing that.
So yeah, Nikki Bella though. Oh man.
Yes,
Woo.
Anthony does look just like Bobby Lashley. I was going to say, finally, they got
Jesus,
one right.
I know. I get that all the time. I'm gonna get a hype man too to walk around with me.
Uh,
But let me finish though. Nikki Bella, awesome. She's awesome, and I do think there's a good spot for her. Like I like it better in the women's division when they're her and Brie together are around. It's just they add something there. They're not the best wrestlers, technically speaking, but
And the thing is, Harry's never really defended anyone who has said that. I always think he's going to, but he's kind of let it go. What's up from England, Amor Remus? And yeah, so that's the interesting thing to me. Oh, what was that? Is that Leo Rush DiBiase? Wow, that's a super hybrid. Opinions on great. Do you even know who Justina Valentine is?
Justina Valentine. I can't. Is she the daughter of Greg the Hammer?
No, this guy Arthur thinks she's important and somebody that everyone must know, and he's mind blown that I think Alexa Bliss is hotter than her.
Alexa Bliss is.
That's what I'm saying, but somebody doesn't understand that.
Yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, you as well understand my blonde thing.
Yes, I happen. Do you have that blonde thing with Rhonda?
No.
Yeah. Nah.
Jared better than Roman Reigns. Well, that's. Is anyone going to argue you on that one? Yeah. Looks like Pete Cass. He doesn't look like I've met Pete Cass, and no, he doesn't look like Pete Cass at all. He's a lot slimmer than
By the
Pete
way,
Cass.
these are prescriptions, so I'm actually using these to see.
I'm waiting for you to say the prescription is to look cool.
You're damn right. Now I can't see your screen. Oh well. What are your thoughts on Jeff Jarrett? Oh man, yeah, I think you covered this once.
What I think is funny is, for me, this is like bringing a girlfriend home to meet the parents, because they will all grill you.
Oh, yeah.
Every time a new guest on, they will grill you, ask you a million questions.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
What are your intentions? You know,
Yes.
I'm waiting for that to go.
Yes.
So, have at it. Answer
I like
people.
that Jeff Jarrett one. I wish they would have brought him. I know the second time he came out, he did drop the slap nuts, but he should have came back solid slap nuts character.
Easily his best gimmick.
It was by far.
And not
He
that
came.
stupid stripe.
I can't believe he actually squeezed into that outfit again and embarrassed everybody on TV.
Well, see, the thing was, it was just one piece, but then since he's gained weight, it's split.
Oh Jesus!
So it looks like.
It's rough. It's rough. But I think he just got hired as part of their backstage team, right?
I feel like who hasn't been hired as
That's
a backstage team in the past week?
Well, they got rid of Double A, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Miss Hancock.
Yeah.
I just saw that. Thoughts on Miss Hancock?
Oh, of course, yeah, Stacey Keebler, of course. But
Jesus.
yeah, the rumors are circulating apparently about why he got let go.
Oh, it was because he let Alicia Fox wrestle drunk?
Yeah, that was the thing. Because initially, when she was let go, they didn't say anything. But now it seems like they're coming out. Are you leaning off screen?
I don't know. It was.
Okay, let's get you back on.
Oh.
Okay. We'll verbally slap you. Dave, do you think WWE is trying to make wrestling real by having Ronda and Triple H break kayfabe? No, I think they're just trying something different. I don't like it. Personally, I don't like it. And you know my feelings that I have no problems admitting that wrestling is predetermined. I don't even care about using the fake word that some people hate. But I don't like wrestlers doing it. Cody Rhodes said it well, pointed out that you get no points for saying, like when you're dealing with someone who doesn't like wrestling and they find out you do, they always say, well, you know it's fake, right? I was like, that's not the point. It's like, I know that Game of Thrones is fake. I know Breaking Bad is fake, but you don't get points for pointing it out. I don't want in the next Avengers movie for them to stop and say, by the way, we're actors, this is pretend. I don't need that in the movie. And I don't want that in my wrestling either.
I actually miss a lot of kayfabe.
Mm-hmm.
When you go back and you watch the
Yeah.
80s and 90s promos before I guess before the Attitude Era, right? Because that kind of put kayfabe on blast. I miss kayfabe a lot. They'd go on talk shows and still be in character. If you're Arsenio
He's
Hall,
not Jay White.
who's Jay White?
New Japan champion.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm not up on my New Japan.
Jay White looks like a small version of Bono from YouTube to me.
Oh Jesus!
Like if Bono had a younger brother, that's what Jay White looks like to me.
I might be bigger than half the New Japan roster.
Oh yeah, Big Boss Man. I don't see it.
They do some hard time.
That would be cool though. I mean, again, you're a lot smaller than the Big Boss Man, but that would be awesome. Guys, Rick and Morty's fake. It is? See, that's what I'm talking about. Harry gets it.
It is?
Game of Thrones is fake. Nice. Nasty Nate gets it. Hey, Nasty Nate, by the way. I saw you earlier, but I didn't say hi. Sorry about that. Arn was going by what he did in his day. Yeah. See, Harry, you're Harry, Steve and James, we were talking about it, and the thing is, he kind of said, I don't want to speak for him, especially since he will probably, there's a chance he'll be here in a couple of minutes, but the way he put it was that knowing what Arn knew from his time, and even though he got away with it, maybe other people, maybe they got away with it back then, that maybe he would look at it a little differently now that he's older and he's in the, authority position, but definitely not. Do people ever tell you that you sound like Christopher Walken? Who, me? No. I've gotten Barack Obama, and I've gotten...
You do sound like Barack Obama.
I've also gotten Keanu Reeves. I don't think I sound like Keanu Reeves at all.
Keanu Reeves, huh?
Yeah, Keanu
Like
Reeves.
Point Break Keanu Reeves?
I don't know, but Keanu Reeves and Barack Obama don't sound anything like, so I already don't understand how that's possible.
Like the Viacom Diaz
Yeah.
guy? Yeah. I don't know.
So apparently to some people, that Keanu Reeves and Obama and now I guess Walken all sound the same. Unless he was talking to you, not me.
Well, I don't know. Do you guys have do your viewers have beef sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes.
Because I've been warned about that guy.
Oh, who warned you?
Somebody.
Somebody. You sound like Walken. I don't think you sound like Walken.
Oh, well, I guess that's a good thing. Is it? I don't know. I can't even tell if it's a compliment. Well, thank you.
It could be a, New York, New Jersey area kind of thing where,
Now maybe if they said I look like Walken, now I really would be offended.
Right.
Looking like a 70-something-year-old man.
How many times did Ric Flair go into the ring class? Well, who knows? But that's the point. It's like, yes, that is probably a very high number. But it's kind of like when, you're younger and then you say, oh, man, when I become a parent, I'll be this cool parent that says, yeah, kid, do all the crazy things you want. Then you actually have a kid and you freak out and you're like, no, then no. Like, again, we're going to preface this, professional wrestling should be done by professionals only. But when me and Sean, my friend Sean, when we were a kid, in high school, we did backyard wrestling. Do not do backyard wrestling. Do not try that at home. Professional wrestling is to be done by professionals only. And it seemed fine when we were kids. Sean now is a kid, and she's one. She's a baby. But if she wanted to do that, he'll lose his mind. I guarantee you, he will freak out and be completely, absolutely not. Like, there's no chance he'll just lose his mind if that happens. So yes. Oh, what you got? What got you?
Rio Willis Jones. I could definitely play Jinder Mahal.
Well, somebody should try acting for Jinder Mahal's role since he's obviously not going to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Cornette on MLW. I didn't see it, but I did hear about that. That's how we do that.
There you go.
But this guy, he does not look anything like Shawn Michaels. Because number one, he looks like a man. We'll start there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sure. Shawn Michaels now? God, he's even more.
Yeah.
He's even more beat up.
Bo Dallas was a big deal in NXT. Yeah, he was. Should be gotten paid a lot now. Wow, you guys are still on this. Yeah, they're debating about Asuka and Charlotte because the list of WWE's highest paid calculated from last year, 2018, came out today.
Who's the? What are they talking about? The
Men
women?
and women.
Oh, who was the highest?
The highest was John Cena.
Of course.
10 million. Brock has been number one. So Cena's got the top spot. Brock is down at number 2 at 6. But the thing that came out that a lot of people were talking about is Asuka get the champion for SmackDown, $250,000 a year allegedly. That's the same amount of money as Kurt Hawkins. And so everyone's like, why does this make any sense? And
she's getting jobbed in real life.
Yeah, Charlotte's number 2. Ronda's number 1 5 for women. Ronda's number 1.5, and then Charlotte is 500,000. So they're debating about, Charlotte's twice as much as Asuka. So they're arguing about who is better, and is this pay for Asuka and Charlotte justified? Is it warranted? I believe where this started.
Is Asuka still on her first contract though?
Yes, that's a good question.
That's like a rookie. It's like a rookie deal.
She might be. I think she is, but that's a good question. That's a good point.
Because she's only been. How long has she been here? 2 years.
It might be a little longer than that. I feel because for me it feels like 1 year, but she's probably been. Well, no, last year was WrestleMania for her. The year before that, it might be 2 years. You might be right.
So I mean, if it's not her first contract, she's getting jobbed. But if it's her first contract, understandable because who knows how big she would have been coming from
Very good point. Bo Dallas gets paid in food stamps. Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's brutal.
I will say, Nasty Nate usually says stuff that makes me that's brutal, but it makes me laugh.
I thought Bo Dallas with the Bo Leaf gimmick was awesome.
I liked it too. I don't know why they got rid of it. I mean, by now they probably should have changed to something else, but I thought it worked perfectly.
And you know what? Hogan has done some damage across his career, but when he got in trouble, he killed Kurt. I want to say Kurt Hennig, Curtis Axel's push because he was doing the
Axelmania.
Axelmania, and technically speaking, he still hasn't been eliminated from the Royal Rumble.
Oh, he got eliminated. They finally clarified that.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. It was on a nothing. It was like a nothing thing, but no one talks about it.
Who's my hero?
I don't think you know what a draw means. Most people don't. Can I get you a water or something?
No, I'm good. I'm gonna have to go back to work soon.
Oh yeah, right.
I'm still on the clock. I'm
Yeah.
getting paid for this.
Because, man, do they have any idea you left?
Not a clue. Not a clue. I played hooky from work.
Yeah. So me and Anthony used to work together, and the weird thing is, surprisingly, it's very close to where.
Real quick, Raw the Reflex.
Yes.
This is obviously Alex Wright's younger brother. Let me make sure
But
I
it's
tell you how
Big
much
Johnny
I
Bravo.
love Alex Wright. Absolutely love Alex Wright. So I
there
don't.
we go. Yeah, but like in between, like when he was becoming Berlin,
Oh.
you're that middle period.
I like the gum chewing reference too to Mr. Perfect. I'll spit it out and slap it, but I don't want to desecrate your studio.
Yeah, not my office. Yeah. Go to Erica's office. I want to do that. Putting the belt on Roman ain't gonna draw a dime. Yeah, I mean the ratings are already. I mean the ratings are still better, but they are dropping, and they're gonna continue to drop, is my guess. I mean maybe not after the pay-per-view. I think they probably will, unless something major happens at the pay-per-view. But I think they're gonna continue going down till around Mania.
Wow. Ask your buddy to sell an argument from Arthur Pryor, right? Roman and Daniel Bryan to prove how wrong you are. What's that?
Wait, let me see.
Who am I?
Where?
Right there.
It's your buddy set on argument, Roman and Daniel Bryan. Oh, well, Arthur Pryor is, he's got his brain on backwards, and he's lacking this thing called common sense and logic.
Okay.
So why do you believe Roman Reigns isn't popular?
Why do I believe he's not popular?
I mean, right now he came back and all that stuff, but before that.
Because, without the support of the Shield and being in that faction, which was just cool as hell, once they split, these guys, most of us who are in the know that he's
Thank you, Base Up, for the super chat, $5 that you get. Thank you for the Base Up. Base Up, sorry to interrupt you. Dave, once again,
right.
Dalen Ryder, boo. You're absolutely wrong about that, but thank you for the super chat. Okay, sorry.
That's like the Jerry Lewis telethon. So, Roman, he just had we all knew it was kind of force-fed to us. He developed I didn't mind his moveset. I really didn't mind it at all, but as it got longer and longer, it was into his singles push, it just got staler and staler, and his mic skills are just not up to snuff. I mean, look at what Bryan did with the fickle, with all this. By the way, heel Daniel Bryan is so much better than face Daniel Bryan.
Well, there you go, Arthur. He didn't say the thing you thought he was going to say, so once again, you've been proven wrong. I know that will change nothing in your mind, but there you go. Again, Base Up, thank you. Arthur is not that bad. I would not wish that upon anyone. Roman Reigns should be sent to NXT Europe.
I like that.
That's what I mean, man.
It was good. I got to admit though, with him being gone and him coming back, it's best for business. Can't believe I just said that.
I think it's very temporary. It's not gonna last. That's the thing.
No.
And I'm not gonna put that on him either. It's just that people are interested that he's back, but he's not gonna maintain the ratings.
That was me. Sorry.
The Shield coming back for now is a good thing. We also have to sort out what is happening with Dean Ambrose, whether it's real or not. That's also going to dictate things. Because the problem is the Shield, I don't know what's going on, but they're jinxed or something like that because their repeated attempts to come back have not worked out for them.
I know, and they're really I really got jazzed up for the Shield.
Yeah.
I really did. And when Punk left, they were, it was a great, I automatically gravitated to them. I'm not a CM Punk mark per se, but yeah, no, he's awesome. But that's when I started getting back. I had a little gap where I ditched wrestling for a minute, where I came back because of Probably because I saw CM Punk.
Yeah, I mean he's a good. He was a good. He was the for me. He was the reason to keep watching.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right. Well, I like you too. I'm surprised I'm not getting skewered on this thing.
No, they're tough.
Or I mean, Jinder. Yeah, word up.
They're tough on they're tough on you, but they warm up to you unless you're Albert. But then they talk a lot of smack to Albert, but they all support Albert's YouTube channel. It's like they're all like, "Boo, Albert." Okay, we'll watch, buddy.
Well, that's great. See, that's great heel work.
Yeah,
At least you're getting a reaction.
Yeah, so they torture. They love torturing Albert, but they're in total support. Don't question my knowledge. What are you guys talking about? Don't throw insults. What is going on here?
There's chaos and bedlam in the chat.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I am very invested in Razorblade and AJ Outvoice discussion. All right. How about this? Maybe I'll defer the heat for a moment because me and AJ were talking about this. I think not this past Monday, but the Monday beforehand. It's something that I definitely know you are going to be on his side about, where he was questioning on my top 10, my personal favorite top 10 mic workers list. Someone gave a thumbs down. Maybe it was Manny Action. Well, top 10 favorite mic workers list. As you may remember, The Rock is number 10 for me. AJ's very upset by that.
Man, The Rock is number 10?
Yeah.
Number 10. Really?
Yes.
Really?
So, you're quoting The Miz. You're going to quote The Miz for that one.
Which, by the way, he should be in the top 10.
He's not, but he is good. I don't deny that.
Because when they had Talking Smack, man, his stuff, and his promos, when he went, like, full... I guess, when he was trying to, like, technically shoot, you know what I mean? When he was talking with Daniel Bryan originally. Oh, man, that was good. But The Rock, number 10, blasphemy. Straight blasphemy.
So there you go, AJ Envoy.
Is Jake the Snake in your top 10?
No.
What?
I know.
Oh, good God. Who is in your top 10?
You seen the video. You commented on the video.
Yeah, I probably did.
You definitely did.
I've killed a lot of brain cells since the last time I saw it.
That's fair.
Someone just gave you a boom.
Jesus Farrow, thank you so much. A super chat from Jesus Farrow. Jesus, again, you're always so generous. You're always so supportive of this channel, especially also on Patreon, too, as a Patreon supporter. And on top of that, the super chat. Seriously, I can't thank you enough because you're always so supportive. And yes, you are definitely one of the people that help drive this channel. Keep it going. Keep it going. Your support, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Awesome. Is this true? This comment right here? That SmackDown wants, Fox wants SmackDown to be TV 14?
Oh, that's what the rumor has it.
That would be
but
awesome.
That may not be possible.
But I like his suggestion. Have Raw be TV PG and SmackDown TV 14, and then you'll see.
That's what a lot of people want. The problem is this may not be possible. Well, they are changing up their stances on things. They have been, like with Nia Jax and interacting with men. There are things to understand. It's that if you have a major sponsor like Kmart or something, or like Walmart or something, or McDonald's or anything, something, or like Disney. That's a good example. And they want a specific family-friendly product to advertise on. They don't care that they don't care that Raw is PG and then SmackDown is like PG-13. They don't care. They just know your product is not family friendly. And yes, the network is a separate thing. That is excluding the network. But if on TV one is one, that does dissuade certain advertisers. So while I'm not saying it can't happen, but that is something that you have to remember when it comes to advertisers. Some advertisers will be turned off, even if they have the choice of advertising only on one product. That does sometimes dissuade certain advertisers.
But you also got to look at look at the chicken or the egg there, because if your ratings go up, they don't care. Because like look at a show like, I don't know, Law and Order SVU, right? That's definitely not a family show.
No. But
it gets high viewership.
Sure.
Big time advertisers. They'll have, I don't recall any adult only advertisers on that show.
So. But that's the thing. How will that affect things? Thanks for the compliments. Hey, no, thank you, Jesus. But yeah, so that's the question. It's a situation, and again, I'm not saying that it's absolute, but it may or may not be possible. It depends on what WWE values most and what WWE is going to see. Because if one of their advertisers says, no, we don't want you to do that, but they look at the Fox, how much money they gave, which was a lot, they might just say, we'll do it anyway, and we'll lose this, and we'll lose that. But, of course, ideally, WWE wants to have both.
Yeah. I see Arthur Pryor's comment there. Great kids and me are the only ones who watch WWE, so push them all the way going to TV 14. I don't think that's true because we're talking TV 14. You know, these kids have been watching it. These 7-year-olds who've been watching it from 7 years ago are now 14.
Yes.
So they're already leaving.
Right, which is why John Cena's fan base is growing because now 20-year-old males, there are 20-year-old males that like John Cena, which was never a thing. Like when we were in our 20s, which is
yes. But I mean,
now.
TV 14 doesn't mean putting Triple H in blackface imitating The Rock. Right. It means maybe expanding.
Well, here's the thing: they have been toying with it though, like the Alexa Bliss topless thing and the Mandy Rose seducing whichever Uso.
Mandy Rose or Liv Morgan?
Well,
which one? I personally like Liv.
Well, yeah, I was going to pick Liv anyway, but it has been sealed because apparently Mandy Rose did a photo shoot where she dressed up as Shawn Michaels, so now she's officially.
I love the Shawn Michaels hate.
So when it comes to those things, but I would have said Liv Morgan anyway because Mandy Rose is a little too butch or is it too muscular for my taste. I'm not saying she's bad, but well, she is now, but because of the photo shoot. But yeah, hey, Davion, I feel like Daniel Bryan is going to win at Fastlane with help with Roman, unless we see a Sami Zayn return, and Kofi will finally. I do think we're getting the I don't know. I kind of feel like that's a good point because what is going to happen with Kevin Owens? Because you can't have Kevin Owens lose clean.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You brought Kevin Owens back to have him lose his first match.
Ooh,
I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked, but I could see something like that. But I do think the match is Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania for the title. But that reminds me, let's look at the Fastlane 2019 card because maybe while you're here, we can get in some predictions. Maybe I'll hold off, and on mine. Get your predictions in while you were here before you have to go back to work.
Good Lord, I need the match line. I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I got you. And then maybe I'll get Steve's opinion too. I heard someone like Daniel Bryan was going to get paid more than Cena in Cena's prime. Cena means way more to company than Daniel Bryan. Wow. TV popping is going. Doesn't matter if ratings or storylines. Ratings are going. TV ratings going up doesn't matter if the writing and storylines are poor. It doesn't. I understand what you're saying because there have been times where the storylines have been awful, but yet somehow the ratings are up. And there have been times where the storylines are terrible and are great and they're going down.
Oh, there's the matches right there.
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
It's not my first rodeo. Okay, so. Oh, crap.
Now, for a couple of these, I'm going off the cuff, but. All right.
Okay, I'm going to try something a little new so we can still read the chat, but get
Gotcha. There you go. Perfect. All right, so what's that first match? Usos versus The Miz and Shane.
Oh, yeah. Is this... Wait. Oh, wait. Well, let's start with the pre-show. The pre-show, you're going to have... Oh, man. Big E and Xavier Woods versus Nakamura and Rusev on the pre-show.
Man, I'm going to probably say Nakamura and Rusev, right? I mean, that's what I personally like to see them win. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love me some New Day, but I think Rusev has been one of the most misused.
He is.
I can't believe it. I mean, the guy was a monster heel, and then they job him the Cena job, just like what they did with Bray Wyatt and ruin him. And then also when he had Rusev Day, I mean, he became one of the most popular people there. And then I don't know, but I would like to see Rusev and Nakamura.
He has teased yet again that he is leaving. Well, Rusev teases he's going to leave like every 3 months.
He does.
So,
he does. Hey man, listen, if he goes and he goes to AEW and then they actually get a TV deal, or I mean, look, I'm ready to watch.
I didn't like Rusev when I first saw him. Like, I just thought, I'm like, great, just another big guy who. Well, first of all, he wrestled without shoes, and I can't stand wrestlers who wrestle on bare feet.
That's old school, though, man.
I hate it. No, I hate it. It's awful. And then what happened to him happens to everybody. You'll break your ankle.
Oh, of course.
Then you start wearing boots.
Exactly. But when he would have that, when he would put on the Accolade and have that just ridiculous blank stare I loved it. And plus he had Lana. I loved that whole.
Whoa.
And I'm not saying this because Lana is just a smoke show. What I'm saying is because Lana was really good at her character.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. She
Yeah.
knew how to and I missed that Lana, the one that really got the crowd pissed.
Yeah.
Because she was up there with getting heat like very few could.
Oh, of course. She was. I mean, at one time, I would have said she was the best women talker on the stick.
I think that's Alexa now, like currently. But
Alexa Bliss is by far the best on the stick.
This is how bad, because Sean's wife doesn't watch wrestling. Sean also, me, him, and Sean all work together. Sean's wife doesn't like wrestling. This is how good Lana was. She walked by, and she heard Lana talking, and then she was like, she stopped, and she's like, "What is this woman's trying?" Like, and she got mad just walking by, hearing Lana say like
lots of heat, baby, generate that heat.
Yeah, that's how good at getting heat Lana is that he actually got her there. Hey, Steve. Oh, actually, come on in.
What's up?
Actually, maybe we'll see. Okay, maybe we could do the predictions right now, just in time.
Oh.
What happened? What
We'll
I
see.
do?
Okay.
I'll pull the chair around.
All right. Slide further back that all of us can fit in.
Hey! I'm gonna move closer towards Dave. I'm Steve, by the way.
I'm Anthony. How are you?
Nice to meet you. I was like, wait, is this Albert?
No.
Still get to meet Albert.
Stephen James from Capital Wrestling, play-by-play commentator. Me and Anthony, or Slice, we used to work together.
At a pizzeria?
No. Okay, so we just in time because we were doing paper. Yay! Whoa. Steve in the building, and then someone says, "Get out, Steve."
It's Harry Flynn. It's Harry Flynn.
Oh,
It doesn't count.
So we just went in time for TLC. Fastlane predictions, and we were just started with the pre-show. New Day, Big E, and Xavier Woods versus Shinsuke and Rusev, and we're talking about what we're gonna do. So Anthony went ahead and picked Nakamura and Rusev. What's your call?
I would say this is a throwaway match completely,
Well, that's true.
and I would say if who needs it more, Nakamura and Rusev, but the New Day will pick up this one.
See, yeah, I'm thinking New Day because it's going to help by association Kofi Kingston for his WrestleMania match.
Hopefully. But it's Big E and
No, I know, but
Xavier Woods.
that's why I said by association. I feel that Kofi is going to play some sort of part in this pay-per-view. Where, how, I don't know. But I do feel like he will come into play at some point in time. And there's a specific reason why he's not in this match.
We talked about the on the Royal Ramble radio show last night. If he is not the first thing you see on Tuesday coming out to start the show, I might just burn my TV.
Yeah, and because we talked about this on the Royal Rumble show, and I said that because we debated whether or not Kofi needs to win a big match or something to get him back in the title picture for Mania, or is he good to go? And I say, I would love it if they had a mini Royal Rumble on SmackDown and just wins that just because he's due to win a Rumble, and this wouldn't be the real Rumble anyway. But I don't think he needs it. I think that it takes one promo, one specific promo, and
You can turn it around that way.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
they better do it. Because I was telling Steve last night that it was like when Randy Orton was going against The Undertaker, and Randy Orton was saying, it's not luck, it's destiny the whole time. I said, Undertaker, better say your destiny is the same as every man's, and you will rest in peace. I'm like, if they don't cut that promo, there are very few times where I get promo pissed, where I need to have a specific promo. And if they fail me, I will just lose my mind. We're at that point. By the way, since we're all sitting far other way, I can't really see the chat as well. So
I can kind of see it.
I can kind of see it too, but I got to be looking at it. But I'm going with New Day because I feel this is strategically planned out this way, and I think by momentum through association will help. Okay, so let's move on. Rey Mysterio and Andrade, the former Cien Almas. And I find Andrade the harder part to say, so I kind of wish they got rid of that and kept the other parts. Because
I'm gonna go with I can't even say it. Andrade. Andrade.
They put the harder part to say.
Only because how are they gonna? I mean, I know Mysterio's back and all, but he's probably gonna fill that Y2J role at one point where he's gonna be putting over the younger wrestlers. So just off of that, I think he's gonna wind up taking that match for sure.
I just realized we did predictions last night. So.
Yeah.
For this one?
Yeah.
For this pay-per-view?
Yeah, on a
we did-
different
we did on
show.
a different show last night.
All right.
So for everybody who's listening, it might be a rehash who listened.
No,
last
I'm
night.
also waiting to find out. Someone goes, "That's not what you said yesterday."
I might just do that on purpose to see if anybody was
Paying
paying
attention,
attention.
yeah.
And on the Discord, we do a predictions thing. So maybe I picked something completely different. I would say I would rather. This is going to be a match that happens at WrestleMania in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you think so?
I think that they will be involved in some sort of schmoz match, but that will continue their story. I don't think that it ends at WrestleMania. So for the heat, I would say Andrade.
See, I hear you about elongating the feud, and maybe they will, but I don't think you're going to get some sort of nonsense shenanigans because it's a pre-show match. They tend to make pre-show matches pretty straightforward. They don't do anything to propel plots forward because they know people are still filing in their seats in the parking lot tailgating and just not caring. So I feel like Andrade is going to win just straight up. And this was the match. The reason I thought of it here is because I'm like, what did I pick yesterday? There's a chance I said right yesterday.
The poor part about this is the fact that we've seen this match so many times at this point. They've kind of murdered it, and we mentioned that. But for those of you who are complaining about something like this being on the pre-show, they're trying to get you to watch it.
But I said I don't get why. They have your money. Who cares?
It's the principle of it.
Have a pre-show when people are filing in. First of all, that's to me, it sucks for the boys when they have to perform in front of an empty arena, because that is depressing.
They should do a better job. Maybe open doors a little bit early.
Open doors early, and your pre-show can be wrestling-related content, but not wrestling.
Like Comedy Fight Club?
Moving on, we have the Revival, the champions, versus Aleister Black and Ricochet versus Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. Slice, who you got?
Wow, that never even came across my radar.
Well, here's the thing. I don't remember the New Day Nakamura Rusev match last night. Did we talk about that?
No, it
I
wasn't
didn't
announced.
think we did. Okay.
I think they announced it on social media last night.
Gotcha. All right, so
I don't know. Do you think they're gonna just because they just got called up? You think that they're gonna put the belts on Aleister Black and Ricochet? I don't know. I don't know. As a Revival, just on a personal note, I don't. They don't do it for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I mean, I understand the throwback to the old school style and
It's
everything,
a
but
Revival.
yeah, I don't know. I'm just talking as a fan. Does it hit me? Nah, not for me.
I'm with you to a certain extent there. I'm with you with they don't do anything for me on the main roster. They haven't been positioned very well. They haven't been, given anything of substance to do. I think that if it were me, Aleister Black and Ricochet go over here, and you have a tag team TLC at WrestleMania. You get all of these guys back because the better long-term investment here is putting it on Aleister Black and Ricochet because the Revival allegedly are out the door. Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, they're not going to be a tag team forever. It's just one of the... And if
Yeah, I said that about Sheamus and Cesaro.
But see, here's the thing. They work together now.
Just saying.
Bobby Roode and Chad, it's just a mirror match. It doesn't make any sense. Aleister Black and Ricochet...
I'm sorry, I was trying
He's
to
trying to read
read
the chat. Aleister Black and Ricochet, if you put the titles on them and you have, that TLC thing, if you put the tag belts on them for a year, it elevates the tag scene on Raw a little bit because people want to see them. And then you have two guys who are powerful enough as singles that when you split them, it can be meaningful. So that's what I would do.
Now, see, and I disagree with that. In my opinion, yes, Aleister Black and Ricochet are hot. But if we put the belts on them now, then that cools off the Revival. And I know they haven't won since they won the belts, so they haven't been doing well. But
how can you cool down an ice cube?
Yeah, well, that's true. But having the belts on them will, and if they can, the Revival can get a little bit of run, it will help them. Yes, Ricochet and Aleister Black will cool off too, but at least now you will have two tag teams who are at least moving.
Equally cold? Lukewarm.
You'll
have two lukewarm tag teams.
Instead of just having one rocket hot and everybody else just being placeholders. That's what I'm kind of looking for, because this is the Revival's last chance before they become the Ascension, I think.
They're already there.
And I don't know if it's 100% true. I know the rumor is they requested to leave, but they may not.
And they're under contract till 2020, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe they still have a whole other year to go.
Right.
So.
And another thing for me about the Revival, about this triple threat match with the Revival, Aleister Black, Ricochet, and Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, is that, remember, this was rumored to be a match that was supposed to have DIY in it. So whenever there is a multi-team match or something like that, and then someone is taken out of it or something changes, that lets me know something about the plans going forward. And
usually the safety, they stay with the incumbents.
Yeah, so that's a tell. That's not always true, but it's just something to consider. All right, so next up, if this is this low on the card, I'm very surprised. But
yeah, this can't be the card because that tag match being we'll get to that. Look what they have in the number 1 spot.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the main.
We're
There's
doing
no-
that next. Okay, forget that.
Yeah, let's
do
bounce
you-
around.
The Usos, the champions, versus The Miz and Shane McMahon. Well, yeah. Slice?
I can't see them putting the belts. Right, because if I'm not mistaken, please correct me. Mine's a little fuzzy, but the Usos took the belts from Miz and McMahon, right?
And his mind was probably fuzzy when he won it because he was just
Yes. So there's no way that they're gonna do that and give it back to them because they're. I mean, I didn't think that they would become a team to begin with.
Yeah.
Let alone, so I can't see them becoming a team. And I mean, are they gonna do the Miz turn already or?
True Sinister says hi, Steve.
Hey, what's up, Sinister?
And they recognize you without your beard.
I know, this is kind of crazy.
I mean, then again, I haven't really been reading, so.
If we're talking about this, there's a couple of things. One, the mistake of this was having the Usos drop it to begin with.
Yeah.
Had they dropped it here, had Miz and Shane dropped it here to the Usos, it would mean more because I think this is the split. This is the split of Miz and Shane. I mentioned it last night.
And I think the same thing.
It's great. This is my idea for it. Is you have them lose that match. It's the Miz's fault. Shane beats the crap out of the Miz in front of his dad. They made such a big deal about his dad being there the first time and all that stuff. They're in Cleveland again, in his hometown. It's a guaranteed cheer for Miz. So if you want to get Shane a little bit of heat, it's the perfect time to do it. And then they're off to WrestleMania for their awkward singles match.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I'm completely on that one there. So yeah, I'm in total agreement. Let's do while we're doing the tag team thing. Let's just go on with the women's tag team match, which I don't.
Why?
Why not just get it up because it's easier.
I just meant why have it.
Yeah. Bailey and Sasha versus Nia and Tamina. Oh, that's right. I was getting confused with the rumor that they're going to have a multi-team match, but at Mania, I forgot. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. This is Fastlane. So
it's not yet. You're already. This is
it's a
the
Fastlane
flyover state of pay-per-views.
There's 2 of them now. There should be no pay-per-views.
This is
between
the
Rumble and
Ohio.
Mania.
This is the Ohio of pay-per-views. You just want to get through it. The Indiana.
Ugh. I've been in Indianapolis. Very nice city.
Yeah, but everything else looks like somebody just threw shrubs everywhere.
Okay, so yeah, let's go with the Bailey and Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax and Tamina. Slice.
Man, I look if you want to do it right in my eyes, you have to make Nia Jax and Tamina win, only because they just got the belts, and you want to have your first title holders be a little, have a good run, set them up as a strong. I mean, because look, Nia Jax, we know she's a beast. She's just a straight up beast. So you have to portray her that way, and having them beat. No, maybe this is the chase part. I don't know. Maybe you extend it out to Mania, then you put the belts on. The hugging?
The
I
boss,
refuse
the Roman's
to call them that.
the boss and hug.
The boss and
connection.
hug connection.
Nostalgia.
You know
All
what I
day.
just realized? I don't know if they tried it. They might have, and I just didn't know about it. But I think they missed a boat if they didn't try Nia Jax coming out with a "I broke Becky's face" T-shirt. Did they try that?
No, with the Wahoo McDaniel, a nod to that. They should.
Oh,
have.
and 316.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should
It's
have.
a tradition.
She used that as part of her promos,
But I need a shirt.
Sure.
oh, that would have been.
I mean, I
That would've been
understand
money.
that she's not the biggest draw, but I am curious to know what would have happened if she made that
I would have
shirt.
bought one.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, I think you could have moved a couple.
And is it me? Because I mean, you guys. I'm assuming you guys watch NXT pretty regularly.
I would say
I'm more of a not traditional. I'm more of a
main roster guy.
main roster guy. Not only because of just sheer time, right? So I don't understand why Bailey's so popular. That's
Because
If
as
you
a main
had
roster
you watched,
guy, yeah.
Had I watched it, oh, I know.
NXT,
Yeah.
you'd get it a little more. From TJ Friss, how can you forget Sheamus 515?
Yes, that very good point, too.
Great one. Yeah.
But yeah, so I just realized, I was like, they didn't try that with Nia. They
No.
probably should have.
Shouldn't.
I don't know.
Well, they
I
can't do
don't,
Tamina. My father. Never mind.
I don't know. I don't know if that would have. I don't know if it would have sold or how much it would have sold. But I think it's worth a shot.
I mean, it's better than just putting irresistible force on all of her stuff and her eyes. Like, okay, like she's had the same T-shirt.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yet again, you dropped the ball, WWE.
I think you keep the belts on Bailey and Sasha Banks. You don't invest all this time to just take them off right away. It would be silly. It would be silly to do that.
You got to wait till
My
Sasha leaves
bad.
for
I
AEW
thought-
to do that.
I was going under the impression that Nia and Tamina was
were the champs? Oh,
yeah.
no.
Oh, definitely. Well, still put it on Nia and Tamina.
All right.
There you go.
I would say keep it on because if you take them off Bayley and Sasha, then it's okay. What do we do with these women at WrestleMania and going forward?
Yeah.
Because the women's division, it's if you make them single again, if you make them a single, they have to be in the title picture based on what they've done, and I don't want to see them near the title picture right now.
Here's my thing is, yes, Tim Castillo, I do agree. Bailey's popularity did come from her being an underdog, which was not utilized on the main roster. I agree with that.
An awkward underdog.
My thing about it is, I agree with you. I'm going with Bailey and Sasha too, but I do think, but not because of the split thing, because I do think there's a chance that they will split. I think that is when we get the Sasha heel turn. They will pay that. I feel they will pay that off down the line. Nowhere soon.
A Sasha heel turn.
Yeah, Sasha.
I hope not.
But this is also assuming she will not. She will be around and not go to AEW. I don't know where contracts are, but yeah.
I would like to see Bayley turn into Kathy Bates from Misery in a heel turn.
I said I talked about this on
I
the
would
live
love
stream
that.
before. I talked about it on the live stream before. If Bayley was to go heel, I want her to go to try to be heel, but she's bad at it. And then inflatable tube men, they come up with their arms crossed and they're mad and they're not colorful anymore.
She tried to be face
Yeah.
and she's bad at it.
No, but that's what I want. I just want her to be like try to be mean, but it comes across like no hug for you,
Like
and then she
pouty.
yeah, and then she feels bad and she goes, okay, just a quick one, and just
Just a
and just
pouty
bro
heel.
just bro hugs and then leaves. Like
Okay.
that's all I want.
I'd
And
buy
she-
into that.
And then she tries to trash people's sports teams, and when she gets the team wrong. Like,
Don West is spinning in his grave right
you
now.
know, like if the Bulls were going to face the Lakers and they're in LA, she'll be like, the Bulls are going down, and everyone cheers, and she's like, oh, I meant the
Got
Lakers.
that wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about the basket hoops.
Yeah, and that's what I want. That's exactly how I want this heel turn to go down. That is the way I want it. And at some point in time, she, her and Elias is a thing. Just because why not?
Really sing.
No, I don't want that either, but yeah. There's at least one point to this. Okay, so, but yes.
How do you feel about Rhonda trashing LA and California? It's LA and California. I've probably trashed it more than Rhonda, so I don't have a problem.
Yeah, I haven't been to Cali in over 20 years, and I don't foresee myself going there anytime soon.
Could be worse. It could be Texas.
I went to Texas going on 3 years ago.
I went to Buda, which is just outside of Austin. That was wonderful. Everywhere else was not.
I was there for WrestleMania.
Okay.
Let's do Asuka versus Mandy Rose because somehow it's rotation time. Everybody gets a turn. So for the championship, Asuka, the champion, making that Kurt Hawkins money, going against Mandy Rose.
I mean, that's an Oscar. I don't even have to go into depth on that one.
Yeah, I mean, Mandy Rose did a photo shoot where she's dressed as Shawn Michaels, so she has to lose.
Exactly.
Of course. Like I was saying about Asuka and Mandy Rose, this should be the launch-off point for Asuka and Sonya Deville.
Should it be?
Should be.
I don't know that it will be.
I doubt that it will be. I think that there's going to be some sort of multi-woman schmoz for the SmackDown Women's title that will amount to next to nothing, but can't be on the pre-show because, women and stuff.
It's Asuka for sure, but I would not be surprised if you do not see Asuka on TV 2 weeks after this pay-per-view.
If they have nothing for her, just feed her jobbers. I want to see her just
Oh, I agree.
eat. If there's nothing for her on TV creatively, have her eat up jobbers.
Here's my thing. I don't want her to necessarily go against jobbers because I think jobbers should get to go against the champion. But I would like to see her tear apart Naomi because Naomi at least has more clout than Mandy Rose. She won the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal and not the Fabulous Moolah anything.
The giant uterus trophy?
Yes. So
It's a uterus trophy. It doesn't really look like
But,
it. It's
yeah.
terrible.
Asuka should be taken out, and Asuka should win against Naomi. But my big one that she has to go on is Carmella because Carmella embarrassed her for the title when they went at it. Yeah, it was always schmozzy, but she owes
Also,
Carmella a beating. Is
Yeah.
my point.
She also stole that moment
Yeah.
at WrestleMania, too, after Asuka lost.
Yeah. So
there's
Asuka,
something built in there.
yeah, Asuka needs to get a win on Carmella. So
But
that's
Carmella is a babyface.
I
right now,
don't
so
care.
it's just that the women's division on SmackDown is not.
Receipt.
Yeah, well, it is not very well.
Well, no, because they took the two. It was a
Two-woman show.
2-woman show,
Gotcha.
and they took it and moved it to Raw,
Yeah.
and they get to hang out on SmackDown once in a while.
But to be fair, the SmackDown roster with those two was far stronger, and even with Becky and Charlotte on Raw, the gap isn't that far.
no,
Had they booked Asuka right, and talent-wise,
I'm just
saying.
tired of every time SmackDown gets a good act that's really bringing in the mainstream numbers because everyone says, well, Raw is the flagship show. It makes more ratings. Well, every time that something starts going SmackDown's direction, they just take it and move it to Raw. And then they destroy it. And that's what I'm
That's why
tired
we
of.
can't have nice things.
Yeah, it's exactly why we can't have nice things.
Do you think, real quick, do you think you guys, my best Carmella was when she was with James Ellsworth.
I enjoyed that, even though he's mostly redacted at this point, correct?
Who? Who's that?
Jimmy Dream.
Yeah, I want to say yes, but I also want to say when she was with Enzo and Cass in NXT, even though she was annoying.
She was just Enzo with a vagina. That's basically what she was.
A consensual
in NXT.
vagina.
A consensual vagina.
But,
Consensual.
so I don't know. It's one of those. So I'm not the biggest Carmella fan. So it's also. So you're asking me like, pick your least favorite blow pop. Like that's where we're at now.
And Terrell Davis, to your point, I know you are not the only one that loves Ronda's recent shoot interviews. I love them.
Clarence Price, what's going on, my man? SmackDown Women's Division is getting eerily close to 205 Live / Wow. Yeah, but ouch.
It's true because
It is true.
Especially the past probably about 4 to 6 months, there hasn't really been anything for them to really kind of sink their teeth into. Like, what's the story been? All right, you had the Becky and Charlotte thing, but that's all it's been.
Davion says he misses Enzo.
Okay, I miss his energy and his ability to get over in front of a live crowd, to either be booed and hated or cheered and loved. Every single time he comes out, he is performing at a high level. From what I understand, the person is a garbage human and creates a lot of
Consensual
issues
penis.
and drama. Not even talking about that. I'm just saying in the professional wrestling vein, not the allegations and all that. Consensual penis?
Yeah.
You just want to say consensual penis. But yes, I miss him as a performer for sure. That's the most relevant 205 has ever been.
I meant to bring that up yesterday too. It's like that's the unfortunate part because when people talk about star power, it's like he brought eyes to it.
He absolutely do.
It's like I wish that wasn't true, but I think it cost me Neville.
That's why I think you take a guy like Adam Cole or a guy like Johnny Gargano and you put him on 205 Live.
It's a death sentence.
Maybe. It's a death sentence to put him as a single on, SmackDown.
No,
Do you
but
really see him winning?
my
like
thing is,
he'll be a United States champion.
if you tell me 205 Live is on 2 years from now, still that surprises me. Monday Night Raw will be.
But you can't tell me that Johnny Gargano is going to have a better singles career on the main roster than Samoa Joe. And Samoa Joe has had a terrible main roster.
No, I hear you on that, but I don't know. I think Gargano might get an IC belt sooner.
In a tag capacity, maybe.
But I'm just saying, is it better to thrive in a small pond that's probably going away and is going to become a parking lot in 2 years or 3 or whatever, or is it better to be a minnow in a vast sea that's at least going to be providing a lot?
But it would be easier for him to parlay that 205 success and have some success on the brand when he moves to the main roster from 205 to be like, hey, look at this body of work. 205 was the drizzling shits before. I came here, I made it relevant. Vince understands that to an extent, especially if it's 205, which he has been heavily involved in.
To an extent, but I don't know. Because Mustafa Ali is probably the only proof you have of that. Outside of that, it hasn't looked good for anyone else.
I disagree, Tim Castillo, with your point about Enzo never having star power.
Yeah, something that I think gets underrated is when he cried on air. That's not every actor or definitely not wrestler can do that.
No.
And I thought that was really solid. Like he sold it as the angle of their split was ridiculous. It was dumb from day one. It was terrible writing. But
Shouldn't have happened.
He tried as hard as he could to get that over. Like he
was
really
working with a plank of wood. I'm sorry, Big Cass is
and
a
you
plank
can't
of
teach
wood.
that.
And you can't teach charisma.
But and he tried so hard, and that's the thing. I mean, yeah, I get it. Backstage, he was problematic, and I'm not arguing that. I don't know him, but from the stories I heard, I believe it. However, he worked really, really hard. But yeah, back to the predictions thing.
So where were we at? We just did Asuka and Mandy Rose.
And then somehow we got to Enzo.
Yeah,
I remember how, but still. Okay, so let's get the Shield match out the way. The Shield versus the Trio of Misery or something.
That's an interesting one.
Versus Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Drew
McIntyre and the Corbins.
I don't know what to make of that Shield reunion. The
To me,
third or fourth one. I don't. It just feels so awkwardly put together. And I think
it is.
I think they're doing it on the fly because of Roman Reigns' return and
Yeah.
his health and everything.
And possibility of
and possibly Dean leaving, which I still don't even know if that's going to work or not.
Which, if that's the case, kudos to WWE for giving the fans at least one more memory of it. If this is the end, we're going to look back and be like, all right, at least we had that moment. Maybe not a year from now, but 10 years from now, when we're looking back at the Shield and seeing all of their careers in separate areas, be like, I'm glad we got that last thing. And, mind you, I think that the reason why they put the Shield back together is pretty simple. Merch. Sell that merch, baby.
Well, you can.
New T-shirts.
Yeah, I think the Shield's winning too. It's very easy. Of course they're going to win.
They should.
They should. And Baron Corbin will be largely useless.
You got 3 former world champions and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Are they Grand Slam winners, all 3 of them? Or is it... I know Demon
under,
said that,
under
right?
the new
Under
criteria.
The new criteria, yeah. Which is it changes a lot, unfortunately.
But it works for me because under the new criteria,
Bret Hart has both, I'm sure.
Yeah, technically speaking.
And HBK probably isn't, I'm sure.
That is correct.
Right?
Absolutely correct.
That's why he likes it.
Well, gentlemen, I have to run because
Whoa.
I am still on the clock.
And also,
why don't you walk?
all right, real quick then, do you want to do Charlotte and Becky and Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens, or you gotta go?
Well, at least real quick for me, Charlotte and Becky. Becky's got to win, as far as I'm concerned. And Kevin Owens, why'd they bring him back if they're not going to put bring him in this? If Kofi doesn't get involved somewhere, or I don't know. I could see just a muddled, what do they call it, the dusty finish or something like that. Something something's going to happen. But I can't unless he's not going to lose clean. Kevin Owens, if he does lose.
Yeah.
So, but I would assume that he would get the belt, and maybe Kofi's chance comes against Kevin Owens, since he took his spot. Possibly.
Maybe, yeah.
Possibly.
All right,
And just real quick tidbit of useless information for the viewers: James Ellsworth's tattoo is the cover of an Offspring album. That's where he got it from.
Nice. Which one? Ixnay on the Ombre?
No, later, 2003 or 2006, Rise and Fall.
All
Look
right.
at the cover of
The
it.
Gray Skull?
No, it's like a red angel thing,
Oh,
or something like that.
all right.
So, gentlemen,
Take it
Pleasure.
easy, good brother.
all
All
right.
right. Thank you for being here.
See you guys later.
All right, now let's get closer so we can actually read this.
in.
And
You
we
can
can
see
read
our
it.
ugly mugs.
And we can actually read it. This one. There we go. Okay, so yes. All right, so I guess Charlotte and Becky.
Charlotte and Becky. Becky at this point has to win. I don't really see a way booking-wise around it, and we tried last night to find a way. They did it backwards, in my opinion. Charlotte should have been the one that won the Rumble. Becky didn't need to win the Rumble. She's the loose cannon. She's, I'm Stone Cold Pillman crazy.
Well, Casima brought up a good point yesterday, in that you won the Rumble. It's your match.
Yeah.
And it also, so it undermines the Rumble because it does. First win. Okay, so the first Royal Rumble winner for the women, Asuka wins, goes against Charlotte. but loses.
But loses.
Second Royal Rumble winner just gets the match taken away.
Yeah.
And
It devalues it.
by suspension. Last I checked, suspension doesn't negate I mean, she was supposed to be suspended beyond WrestleMania.
Well, it's wrestling. So
I'm sorry that I require that
Yes.
I look for logic. And
I know.
I know. I gotta stop.
You
that.
say
It's
this
a
to
bad
me
habit.
all the time.
I know. It's just it's unfortunate. It's in normal wear and tear of wrestling stupidity. It's one thing that I can just accept, but when it comes to the women's roster and the women's Royal Rumble, that's like we're 2 for 2 at this point of just dumb Royal Rumble-ness.
The way that
Because even if Becky does win the title from Ronda, it's still going to be an asterisk. She didn't. The Rumble should have been the reason why she's there, but it's not. It's because of this Fastlane match that she got there.
That's basically what it is they needed a reason to sell Fastlane. That's really the only reason, in my opinion.
See, I think it was because, from what I heard, that Becky was injured, so they were trying to find a way to keep her safe.
Which, if that's the reason, you know what? I have no problem with any of it. Then
I have no problem, but then I have no problem with it. And they played it close to right. I don't need, and also allegedly the reason why Charlotte was added to the mix is because they wanted a buffer zone in case somebody did get hurt. So they figured a triple threat match.
If
Becky can't make it back, at least they have this.
And I'm sorry, putting Charlotte in the match isn't going to hurt the match quality. While I'm not a big fan of triple threats,
That's where I'm going with this.
I'm not a big fan of triple threats, but Charlotte and Becky, and to a small extent Ronda, in the ring have proven enough where I would give them the benefit of the doubt that this could be a really, really good match.
AJ2000, what's up? And it's just, I'm me.
So I'm Marty Jannetty?
That is a compliment.
So that makes you HBK?
No, it does not.
It makes him HBK.
He specifically said Dave and Marty Jannetty.
I don't know about that.
It could make me Al Snow.
I don't see it.
I'm Al Snow.
Make you Al Snow? Well, you'd be what, Leaf Cassidy?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Leaf Cassidy? The HBK.
No.
Okay, sorry, the Heartbreak Kid.
No. Because
Sorry, Michael
I don't have enough cocaine in my nose.
Whatever.
And I'm not and you know, I didn't shove you off screen and say, get out of, this is my moment.
This is my moment. That's been alleged.
No.
It's been alleged.
Yeah, because him and Jose Lothario were totally talking. Yeah. They were totally buddy since then, yeah. Dave is Charles from Red Dead, Steve and Jeff.
I don't get the reference.
Did you play Red Dead 2?
No.
Okay.
It's the one with the horse, right?
Yeah. Multiple horses.
Multiple. Oh, that sounds like a very awkward party at martial arts.
I think it's that hat.
Maybe. But I wear this hat all the time. It's the beard being gone. I'm telling you.
Okay, maybe you guys have said it, but I haven't seen anybody mention it yet.
Like, Dave almost didn't know who I was when I walked in.
I was like, hey, buddy.
Earlier today. I've been here for a while.
That's Steve's hat.
It's my hat.
Black. Out of those options, Steve, TJ, I will take it.
That you're the 1, 2, 3 kid.
Over Shawn Michaels, yeah.
What's up, degenerate?
I wouldn't be surprised if WWE does some stupidness where Charlotte wins and then Becky has to get a WrestleMania match on Raw. I don't want that to happen, and I'm not predicting that will happen. I just wouldn't be surprised because WWE. Because it's what they do. But I'm just going to go out there, predict Becky to win. She's going to WrestleMania. I'm just saying, I would not be surprised if it happens. I mean, Becky did mention Vince Russo's name on Twitter, so... You know, if you mention him, he might appear.
Swerve.
Yeah.
Becky all the way. I think that there's no way. There's no more screwballs you can throw at this.
I just won't be surprised because it's them.
Just stop it. I mean, maybe if there was a Money in the Bank kind of hanging in the balance, there could be some screwball-y logic type thing that you could throw in there, but there's nothing hanging around there either. So, whatevs.
And Ronda doesn't... No, my thing is, Winter Soldier, I don't like triple threat matches. I've said that if I have to pick a triple threat match, I think the best three-man chemistry, because there's always an odd person out, but I think the best three-man chemistry I've ever seen, and it's not common, you know, that you're going to get this, was probably Little Guido, or Nunzio, depending on what you call him, Tajiri, and Super Crazy. I think the three of them work together extremely well and make triple threats not feel like triple threats.
Angle, Daniels, and Styles in TNA also
That's a
had
good answer,
that
too.
sort of chemistry where it didn't feel like two guys face off, one
Takes a nap.
Yeah, one's out of the ring and stays there.
Yeah,
and
'cause
then,
all of a
and
sudden,
then you just
yeah.
rotate on the merry-go-round.
Because in a triple threat, all of a sudden a forearm incapacitates you for 5 minutes. Just like in the Royal Rumble, finishers stop working as finishers all of a sudden. But then again, that happens all the time now. But yeah, so that's my thing. That's why I'm not Russo Swerve, Asuka screws both Becky and Charlotte out.
Jeez.
It's possible. And I do like that Becky used Russo as an insult for breaking kayfabe. On Twitter, I did like that. But
I don't mind what
Nope.
Ronda's doing.
Nope.
I don't mind
Not
it
okay.
at all. It's
not
fine.
okay. Precedence set, they did kind of do that with Bam Bam and LT.
Yeah,
I
I'm
get
fine
it.
with
But no, not okay with it.
And
Not
this
okay
is the
with it.
most passion that Ronda has shown,
And
she's not wrong.
no, she's not.
She's not wrong.
I don't mind the angle. I don't mind the heel turn. I don't mind her saying that I can do whatever I want because you won't fire me, but I don't need her breaking kayfabe for it.
You don't need her breaking kayfabe. But
I understand it sells it better. I get it.
But we get selling. Please, you get guys hitting 19. You're talking about, she called it fake. But meanwhile, it is.
Yeah.
And you have guys who are getting up after freaking power bombs and super kicks. And all
I
this
don't like
crazy-
that either.
Exactly. But I hate the narrative that one person is vilified for it, and meanwhile, the stuff in the ring is more egregious to professional wrestling than what she said.
No, I don't like any of it. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying the
but
narrative.
Also, I mean, yeah, the Leo Rush thing I don't like. Super kicks, though, I will say, like the Young Bucks and Super Kick Party,
That's a joke.
It's okay to me because I understand it has been used as a finisher, but I never liked the super kick as a finisher because I don't like strikes as finishers.
He also doesn't like Shawn Michaels. So that works too.
No, that's a different move.
Oh.
So Lance Storm and
Got
Stevie
it.
Richards do
Okay.
super kick.
Okay.
And they don't really use it as finishers either, but it's a
Is that
kick.
Big Stevie cool?
Yeah, I want to see moves be a finisher. So the fact that a kick doesn't, because it doesn't make any sense to me that.
Well, Goldberg's kick kind of finished very hard.
jeez.
Not a super kick, but pretty super.
Ugh.
Shin Mark dropped frames.
Okay, there we
Oh,
go.
we're back. That was
yeah.
very
Sorry
weird.
about that. Yeah, that's never happened before, so that's weird.
That's very weird.
He
He didn't pay the light bill.
Guess not.
Like, Goldberg came in and crescent kicked the computer.
Or he just walked by it. We have no idea what happened, but yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so
strange.
so yeah, I don't, because the thing is, okay, we see a lot of people kick in wrestling.
It's a lot
So
of
why
punching.
should this one kick incapacitate? It doesn't make any sense to me anyway. So I'm okay with the super kick party. Plus, and Big Show, I understand that the Big Show, if he punched me in the face, yeah, I'm probably done.
That makes logical sense.
But I still don't like the visual of just seeing a punch be a finisher. It just I just don't like. I never liked it. It's just too.
Well, the point I was making is Ronda is not exposing the business any more than the way that people lack psychology and no sell moves. The in the ring product is more egregious
And it was
than what she said.
But-
and I don't get why people are so up in arms about it.
well. I don't like Triple H. I didn't like Triple H doing it on Monday either. And I know
For sure, and you said that. You've been consistent on that,
Yeah.
for sure.
And I know that that promo has been 50-50. It's been very polarizing. Some people hate it, some people love it.
I thought it was good.
I hate it,
I
absolutely
thought it
hate
was
it.
good.
I hated the break of the character. I thought it was muddled and inconsistent. I know Arthur and Pryor, me, the two of us actually agree on this. This is one of the things we actually do agree on. But yeah, no, I hated the promo, and I was dumb. It was one of those moments where you feel something so strongly about something, and then you figure when you start talking to other people or see other people online, they're all going to think the same thing, and then you hear the exact opposite, and you're like, what? That was that moment
Yeah.
where I was expecting this was be a universal, everyone's going to crap on Triple H moment, and nope.
That's
Not the
why,
case.
I mean, wrestling is subjective. You can't account for what works for you. Very rarely are there universal things where you're like, ooh, that was bad. Like the suffering succotash, or anytime Bailey has a microphone in her hand in front of a live audience.
Yeah, I don't like Black Mass either. I don't like the haluva kick. And then the Blue Thunder Bomb is his signature. Why are they not reversed? Like, if Sami Zayn was using the haluva kick as his signature and the Blue Thunder Bomb as his finisher. Why is that not the order of this?
Yeah.
Like, someone explain it to me.
Especially since you could use the haluva kick as a setup.
And what's also amazing for me is with Sammy is that he has been able to do the Blue Thunder Bomb to guys that you physically look at the
He
side.
shouldn't be able to, yeah.
And he does it well. So, like, why?
And I guess they think that it looks better on camera. You can get more angles out of that look okay.
I mean, I understand. I'm also assuming Sami
TV
Zayn.
presentation.
I'm also assuming that Sami Zayn wins something.
Oh, dude, that's not happening.
Yeah,
That's a
so
whiff.
I mean, so that doesn't matter either.
Who?
Yeah, but it just drives me crazy. Like, I no, there's no strike. The closest I ever came to liking a strike as a finisher. I'll give you two examples. Well, Daniel Bryan, the first time he hit the running knee, and I just didn't see it coming. I was like, what just happened? I was like, good, win with that, because man,
That was good.
that looked like he took the guy's head off.
Yeah.
I was okay with it. I don't really like it, but that first time I would have let it go. But that's not me saying I like a strike as a finisher. That's more like I like those times when non-finishers win matches, because I think they should happen every once in a while.
Every once in a while, I mean, it has to be the right guy in the right circumstance, like the 1, 2, 3 kid thing. Like, when's the last time a wacky roll-up guy? When's the last time something like that really happened for marquee guys?
Right.
I think we're frozen.
It is on here, but I don't think it is elsewhere.
All right,
This
hopefully
has
we're
happened
still
before,
here.
and no one said anything yet. So,
Who knows?
my other one is like the Swiss Death from Cesaro. Okay, not my example, but the one that I think is all right is DIY meet in the middle. And that's because there's two of them, and they're kicking, and they're like crunching this guy's head.
That's
like
fine.
that, I get.
That's fine.
That I'll get. As a tag team finisher,
But
what strikes as a finishers can abide by you? Or do you? I mean, you don't feel strongly about it as I do. Like,
No, I definitely don't.
But do you at
I
least
think
kind
that
of-
they have to be executed correctly. Like, if you're giving like a weak super kick, you know what I mean? If it looks bad, like you have, like, it makes sense for like you said, the Big Show can probably knock you out with his fist.
Yeah.
It should be used. Does he do it very well? Not really.
well, he's got to hold back because he probably will kill you if he really did it.
Exactly. But it still doesn't look very good.
No, so
the Black Mass, I don't like that either because
I don't like the Claymore either. By the way, just gonna clarify.
the Claymore looks better, but a guy that big shouldn't need to do something like that. I like a good pump kick. If it's the right guy. But yeah, strikes are weird. What would you consider something like the Stunner? An impact finish? Would that be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not crazy about Boomaye or whatever they're calling it now. I'm not crazy about that. What are Kinshasa? Sorry, because I refuse to call it that. I'm calling it Boomaye. I don't care. But yeah, I'm not crazy. I'm also not.
She's not a big Nakamura fan. Anyway.
I don't love him like a lot of people do,
Is that right?
but that kind of surprised me.
He's solid. He's not a great.
I was saying this on Royal Rumble.
I don't get why people think he's such a great entertainer.
See, that's the
He
only
has
thing I think he
presence,
has.
but
Yeah.
I don't like.
Well, he doesn't do a lot of the stuff he used to, or it's played out. We don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But when he would rest his face on it, when he pushed it over the rope and just did the pat and all that stuff, like that stuff, the crowd would eat it up. He knows how to get psychology in there, and he knows how to be a braggart without being an ass, which is not easy to do.
Everything in NXT was, oh my god, this
Whoa, that's New Japan stuff I'm talking about.
I'm just talking about why it got over originally in NXT, like the same things, the resting the face on, the doing all that stuff.
Well, no,
Oh my god, we're seeing the New Japan stuff. Oh my god,
No.
we're so cool.
No.
We're ahead of the curve.
That gets ahead in the NXT because in NXT, unlike main roster, is they still have this thing called rules. The breaking because of the rope thing only works if there's any kind of enforceable rules on the main roster, which there aren't. I mean,
I've seen Zach Rowe. I've seen some of his New Japan stuff, and it's good.
Okay,
but
I could keep going on and on and on, so let's just get the final match out the way because we still
Okay,
haven't done that. Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan has to retain because there's no
Agreed.
there's no story impetus for Kevin Owens to even be in here. He shouldn't even be in the match. Honestly, I think they put him in there to just kind of extend the Kofi thing.
And my thing for this delaying the Kofi thing, it's right here. You do New Day versus Daniel Bryan, Rowan, and blank.
Yeah.
You just do that as your main event of the pay-per-view. That's it. That's all the moving.
I hate 6-man main events.
I don't
make Becky and Charlotte the main for that.
Fine, whatever. I didn't need Fastlane to happen anyway. They should have gotten rid of it. There's no reason to have Elimination Chamber and Fastlane. It's just stupid. It's just plain freaking stupid. But that's what I would do if I'm forced to have No Way Out in your house, whatever. Say Valentine's Day.
In your house, Beware the Dog, Capital Punishment, Capital Carnage.
Yeah. Insurrection.
Fire.
Yeah. If you're forcing
Taboo Tuesday.
And they're too close together also. Like they're, I know.
It feels like you're just getting over whatever the fallout from Elimination Chamber is, and they're already into their build.
And if they switched the order, it would have been different. Elimination Chamber is the bigger show, but I think they want to save the bigger show distance between WrestleMania.
Not only that, consider that Elimination Chamber is a more physically grueling pay-per-view with the higher risk of injury, and having that right before Mania may not be wise.
I wish there was no pay-per-view between Mania and the Rumble. None.
The only way that I think that they could do that is I would rather them, if they're going to do that, I would rather them have network special house shows like they did with the Beast in the East. It's not a pay-per-view. It's just something like that, like where one marquee match you want to see.
I want nothing, but I do wish they did more network specials, but do them like the way some of their network specials was the way like when Kofi went against Brock,
which I thought was great.
It was, but it's just who saw that comic? Like it was a very left field match.
That was one of Brock's better matches in terms of since he's been back in terms of storytelling.
Someone carried his ass.
I don't like that narrative. I don't think that's true.
You don't like the term carry, or you just don't like it for this?
I don't like both.
Okay.
I don't like both terms. I think that there's no such thing as carrying somebody through a match. You have to be present, whether or not they're.
What if you smoke crack all weekend?
Okay, that's a tiny bit different.
What if
even
Sting has to pin you very quickly?
That's different.
Just saying it happens.
They're not in their right mind.
Just saying it happens.
I'm saying Giant Gonzalez and The Undertaker. Did The Undertaker have to do his lion's share? For sure. But Giant Gonzalez still had to get in the ring. I don't want to diminish the entirety of it by saying they carried him. Brock Lesnar has carried a lot more people than he's been carried, if you're going to, by the logic that people put out of what carried is.
See, because here's the thing. Did you hear Paul Heyman's speech about Dean Ambrose and Brock? I
haven't seen it yet.
Do you know what he said?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
He said, oh, yeah, he goes, Brock was difficult to work with, or did he just bomb? He goes, kind of like was he just bombing on the podcast with Austin? And was he just trying to save face? He's like, think about that. He goes,
exactly,
He goes, ask all the other guys who work with Brock. He goes, tell me what they'll say. He goes, oh yeah, it's Brock's the problem.
Yeah.
He goes, and the two of them, just look at
which ones. Yeah, who has a better body of work?
But see, I love Paulie's spin on stuff. I don't believe it, but
there is a certain level of BS that you have to he starts at 73.3% BS. But his BS is so good, you want it to be true.
Absolutely.
That's why you're like,
that's why he's the man.
Okay.
But here,
Ultimate Carnage.
Yeah, my thing is, Brock has phoned it in. He has been phoning it in since he came back because he knows he doesn't have to be. He doesn't care anymore. He doesn't care about. I feel there was a time when Brock Lesnar truly cared about being a good wrestler. I don't think that time is here.
I also don't think he needs to be a good wrestler. That's not what they're asking of him. I think if they were asking that of him, he wouldn't do it. Not that he can't do it, which the narrative that people have is that he can't wrestle.
Oh no,
he can wrestle.
He can, but
he just doesn't need to.
That's what makes it more frustrating to me is that he's capable of it and does it. If he was physically incapable of it, then I don't mind. I get a pass. I don't get that mad about Great Khali because I'm aware I don't think he can.
Yeah, super limited. Unpopular opinion. Tessa Blanchard is my favorite. That would not be an unpopular opinion around here. Tessa's great. Yeah, love Tessa fans.
Sting versus Jeff was the funniest and saddest thing. No, there's a match in Mexico, a ladder match where they only had one ladder, and it broke.
Oh no! And
that is the saddest wrestling match you will. They had to. That is the saddest wrestling match you will ever see.
Change the gimmick. Get Jack Tunney out here and change the gimmick.
That is the saddest wrestling because they try everything, just to end the match to get the thing down, and they don't know what to do. People are coming from the back. It is so sad. It is so sad.
Remember when you used to be able to decide a ladder match with a pinfall?
I don't like that.
I don't mind it.
I don't like it.
I like both options.
I don't like the door for a steel cage.
I don't either. I don't like
Or
either.
pinfall and submission inside the steel cage either.
Yeah.
You get out. That's it.
That's the reason why.
Hey.
Because if you're doing a cage right, generally your story up until that point is either whatever they've been doing can't be contained in a ring,
Yes.
or the heel keeps escaping, keeps finding a way out.
And he keeps his buddies out. Hey, Brian Schmidt. No, Brian Schmidt. Stop it.
Bad.
Stop it, Brian.
Bad Brian Schmidt. Redacted.
Yeah.
Redacted.
Anyway, what I was trying to say is when it comes to cage matches, and I almost think I might want to do an episode on this, but people don't realize how wrestling is changing and the evolving has really changed what the cage match is.
For sure.
Cage match used to be, once upon a time, like in the 70s, was a guaranteed bloodbath. Not only the psychology and the storytelling that Steve is talking about, where it was meant, this is a blow-off match because you got to keep those bad guys out once and for all. And
if you hit the cage, it was painful.
Yeah. Look at Ric Flair and Harley Race.
Look at Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes.
Look at just Ric Flair.
Ric Flair in general.
Let's just go there. It was a guaranteed bloodbath. Like, it was going to be disturbing. Like, they were going to bleed a lot. But that, with the invention of hardcore, not the invention, but the popularity of in the modern era of hardcore wrestling, Japanese death matches, ladder matches too, and a lot of other matches.
It wasn't enough.
It's not. Yeah, well, it's not the only thing that draws blood anymore. And then they also watered down the product for the mainstream because they wanted to be able to put it on Monday nights without people bleeding. And not even PG-13 era, they just didn't need people gushing like stuck pigs on non-pay-per-view. So there's several other things that have come into play, but it's changed what a cage match was, and that's why they started incorporating other details. And WWF was never comfortable doing. They have done a lot of blood, but like in the 80s, of course they weren't going to do the chain link fence. They were going to do the blue bars and all that because they didn't want Ric Flair levels of blood. They didn't want you seeing that. King Kong Bunny and Hulk Hogan.
They were trying to sell it nationally. And to people who didn't watch wrestling already.
Right.
That's the difference between the WWF in the 80s.
Yeah.
Is they weren't appealing to, and kind of now, they're not appealing to us. They've already got us. We're not going anywhere.
To top off a long feud, it's messy endings, having a real ending like a no DQ Street Fighter or violence, but I'm on black night. Okay, Joseph Baracho, there you go. But yeah, the evolution of a cage is pretty interesting to me. Like I said, I may have to do an episode. I don't know if I have enough meat to fill out an entire episode, but it is an interesting subject, I think.
The blood at the right... Here's the thing. I like the blood at the right time, but I am also glad that it doesn't exist in the business anymore, really. And I don't want to see it come back.
I mean, hepatitis, let's start there.
Not even just that. It's just... It's dumb.
I knew a wrestler. I knew a guy
from a human perspective. It's dumb.
Well, yes, I knew a guy who wrestled, and his mother, tough as nails. We worked together in a supermarket, and she worked there too. And if you know anything about women who work in supermarkets, they're some of the toughest women you are ever going to meet, or toughest people. Period.
They're the only ones who can open up the plastic bag in one shot. I'm sitting there like, it's stuck together.
Yeah. So. Women in supermarkets are like career women in supermarkets are some of the toughest people ever. She had no problem with her son doing any of that stuff. She didn't like wrestling, but she knew her son was passionate about it. But the reason he quit was when she found out what blading was and that he was doing it, and that bothered her. And he said normally he wouldn't care. He loves wrestling, but when she cried, because she ain't a crier, because I worked with this woman, I know how tough she is. But when she cried and said she didn't want him doing that, it broke his heart. He says, "Okay, fine, I quit," and he quit the business right then and there, and that was it. So I just need to really stress that out about that's the first thing that's the first story I think of when I think of blood is because of that.
It's the safety aspect of it. It's like you want to be marketable. No one is going to go to a guy who looks like Abdullah the Butcher and cast him in a movie that isn't, you know what I mean, like him being a monster. You know, not that Abdullah the Butcher was going to be a leading man in Hollywood, but you get my my
I could see him being Denzel's friend. Wait, sorry, wrong. Sorry.
Nice if anybody gets that. 10 internets to you.
Yes, and Terrell Davis, me and Steve will be at the disco. He's already dressed for it.
I'm already dressed for the disco.
Yeah. I will admit that I do think I have a very niche audience because I do make a lot of weird jokes that I know there's a very small amount of people who get and laugh. It's
As long as you're laughing, that's really all that matters.
Yeah, like on the episode of Kayfabe Science, I had a Schrodinger's cat joke, and then there was somebody who told me they missed the whole episode because they were laughing so hard, and I was like, that's awesome.
That's a good
But
thing.
I'm like, I
Go
get
back
it,
and watch it.
but yeah, you're like one of the very few people that's gonna. I'm like, I know not everyone gets this joke, so I make a lot of weird jokes that very specific. You have to have seen very specific things to get it.
Dave, give yourself a Barry Horowitz for that one from DJ Fritz. Shout out to the Discord guys.
And shout out to a Barry Horowitz reference.
Yeah, for sure.
I love me some Barry Horowitz.
The only guy who had like a serious curly mullet, like a good one.
That's one of the best do check things.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Jimmy James, the man so nice, they named him twice.
Nice. And Hide from That 70s Show coming, probably. What's he been up to? Oh, yeah, he's on
He
that.
had that, yeah, but he also had like a Me Too thing, so he got kicked off of that show.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Danny Masterson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that show was really good. The gimmick.
That too,
The
even
ranch.
shows too.
The Ranch. You know, it's funny. If there should be some sort of show like that called The Gimmick.
I do have,
Produce it.
I did have a mindset for like a movie about pro wrestling that I wanted to make.
Can me and Steve do commentary on a match? On the Discord, sure, I do that from time to time with some of the Discord people. We have some fun. We'll call a match. I've called a match with Double A thus far, and that's about it. It was CM Punk and William Regal, of course.
Oh, of course.
Because this big he's a Regal mark. Kind of a Regal mark myself too, just not that bad. He's
What
my
do you
number
call
3.
him?
William Regal. I don't call him Lord Stephen Regal. Although I don't fault anybody for doing that.
Just wondering.
Yeah.
I do call him William Regal, but it actually bothers me that I do.
Yeah.
I'm not
A
like
little bit. I know
what
what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. But see, I call him William Regal if I'm speaking to him in like oh yeah, it's William Regal. But if I want to announce who I'm talking about, I'll be like, Lord Stephen Regal. Like if my friend is talking about Triple H, he'll be like, the King of Kings.
Harry would like to call it Nikki Bella that way.
I would do that. Harry Flynn, me and you are on the same page with Nikki Bella. I am not as over the moon about her as you are, but I like her work.
How could anyone be?
I know, right?
Brie isn't all about Nikki Bella is.
John Cena certainly wasn't.
Yes, Beastie Boy style theme. Dave, can I make you a Beastie Boy style theme? Yeah, if you want to.
Go for it.
What? I appreciate it. Who is your favorite wrestling girl ever, looks wise?
Looks wise, that is tough. Oh man.
Shut up, Arthur. No, she's not.
Wow. Probably AJ. Probably AJ Lee, because that's like, if I had a type, that would be my type.
I hear you. You know what I think is weird? With the AJ Styles, AJ Lee transition, it never got weird or confusing.
Nope, not even a little bit.
I expected it to be.
AJ Eden Styles Lee.
I just expected there was supposed to be a time period or anything and a weird adjustment where people got confused. It never happened. It was just a smooth transition.
TJ Fritz. Steve, what about commentary with Duck Arse? Are you an OSW fan?
I've checked it out once or twice, but not really. Like
so-
the candy bar stuff and things like
Yeah.
that. They are funny.
For those of you who get the Duck Arse reference,
I think the Regal stretch is one of the most brutal submissions in wrestling.
looks great.
Well, that's because he can really hurt you. He's one of those guys who could really put a hurting on you.
Bull Nakano is another one that's up there. You'd be surprised. She is a gorgeous woman.
I did not see that coming.
Really?
Tori Wilson and Trish Stratus is the.
Tori then, not now. She's got like a cat lady thing going on. You know
I think
how
she looks the same.
You know how when they get a little bit of plastic surgery, they become like cat people? She's kind of looking catty. Like Trish kind of looks, she's got like the cat nose that Michael Jackson did.
Oh, Trish, yes.
The only one who has had a successful nose job, and it is, as my friend says all the time, the greatest nose job in the history of the world is Maurice. Maurice went from a 6 to a 9 with that for me. She's gorgeous. I don't care what anybody says. Justina is better. Justina, jeez.
Yeah.
I don't get the Justina thing.
No one does but Arthur, and I wouldn't.
She's
even,
all right.
I wouldn't even be surprised if it's a work.
It's work.
It's the only explanation.
He's trying to work himself into a shoot.
I hope you meet Justina one day, and she's like the worst person on the planet to you, and just you.
Just you.
Like she's really nice to your friend next to you. She's like, she goes to your friend next to you and goes, "Hey, you're hot." I'm like, your friend over here, Arthur. What kind of name is that?
I don't think Triple H got a nose job. It just got bigger. It's like he shoved a
I think
doorknob.
you might need one, but
Yeah. Put a doorknob in it. That's pretty much what happened. I don't know.
recording studio and the best idea. I have a recording studio and the best idea for a theme song.
Nice.
Cool.
I want to see Cena versus Roman hair match at WrestleMania. You survived cancer, but you won't survive me, Roman.
Please shave that John Cena hair off. I hate that John Cena hair.
I love it,
I hate
but only because of how ridiculous it
I
looks.
A, hate it, but B, I also hate that it's a thing that people talk about. And I know I'm guilty of it.
Yeah, it's jacked JBL. It's the most over JBL has ever been.
He's become his own worst enemy. Here's a question. I always find this fascinating, like talking to people about this.
Sure.
John Cena's best feud. Like,
Best feud?
talking about people's best feuds, yeah, who is it?
Probably I would say him and Edge would probably be his best feuds in terms of, match quality and story quality. I would say that. Honestly, his stuff with Big Show was good. His stuff with JBL early on was good, but not that great. The Summer of Punk stuff, even though he wasn't really, he was the main focus for just that moment, really.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's hard, but see, now the more you think about it, though.
the Nexus,
I won't say that because of how it ended.
But it was really cool up to that point. He shouldn't have won, don't get me wrong.
Edge is obviously a candidate.
Yeah.
JBL, not for nothing, people sleep on him, but I do think he's an option. I don't have an answer. I'll start by saying I don't have an answer.
It's tough.
CM Punk is, I enjoyed the most, but I don't know if historically in the grand scheme of his career is the right answer.
His stuff with, I know you're going to hate this, but his stuff with Shawn Michaels was great. While it wasn't a huge, long program, they had great matches. The tag team thing was great. So yeah, that might be number two. Number two for me. Him and Edge is first, because I think that they just had great.
Him and Edge, it also went on too long. Like,
well,
and not for nothing, I can't believe we haven't.
Orton.
But I was going to say, I can't believe we haven't gone here. But you got to say Orton too.
Orton's up there, but that went on.
Yeah, I know it did. Oh, believe me, I'm sick of it. I said I never ever need to see them wrestle again. I don't care. Not even one more time in nostalgia. I don't care if it's a retirement match. Never again. They are never allowed. They're never allowed.
That's the only way I would want to see it.
I don't want them on the same room anymore.
You don't want them on the same brand.
Yeah, they can't play WWE 2K against each other. I don't want them ever competing against anything ever again. Yeah, no. I'm done. Like, they have burned me out on that match that badly. And there was a time...
But it's the age of Orton.
There was a time where I remember, like, thoroughly rooting to see that match. Like, when are John Cena and Randy Orton going to finally lock?
Because they were always on separate brands.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I think the first time they ever wrestled was on Eddie Guerrero's tribute show, I believe. I could be wrong about that.
Steve, if you were to win any world championship, which one would you win? I would win the Winged Eagle championship. But if you're talking current, I would win the WWE championship. Or the IC title. Maybe the IC title, even though it's not very in great shape right now.
The WWE Championship is the IC title now.
Pretty much.
One seems so bored yet. Yeah, he's another one that I think is phoning it in lately. And I get it.
See that?
Actually, wait, no, I take that back. I'm sorry, not lately. I'm sorry. That was my reflex answer. I think maybe I think in the past year he has been turning it on as best as he can. It's probably the most passionate I've seen him in a while.
There was a period of time.
Yeah,
where...
maybe right now he's cooling. Right the second he's cooling down, but within 2018, I thought he was trying a lot. His stuff with Jeff Hardy he was being innovative. He was being new. Stuff with Rey Mysterio. I mean,
it's a lot of good stuff.
The ear thing with Jeff. I mean, like, the guy is putting in effort. But there's been a large part of his career. I compare him to LeBron James. Like, he had all the tools, but there's definitely stretches of time where he does not care.
Okay, making a sports reference.
It happens on the game.
Okay.
I did it yesterday too.
You're sick.
Must be.
I don't know. I think the problem also is is, and you hear this from anybody who really knows the business or knows, wrestling.
I do.
Yeah, it's kind of the branding here. Is unfortunately he makes everything also look so easy that it comes off as boring too, or that he's not trying, because it is so second nature to him. He's so fluid with what he does that I can probably name on one hand how many times I've seen him botch something.
Well, here's my thing. When audiences start booing, like when they did the Randy Savage chants and stuff like that, and his match against Sheamus, which is another thing I never need to see again, all of a sudden he starts busting out more moves, frequency, his pacing goes quicker, he gets more impactful, he puts a little more effort. There are modes in which he slips into where you could see he is trying more now than when he's not.
Well,
I hear you.
fans are also not. Randy Orton is doing the antithesis of the current style.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Dive!
Have you ever seen Randy Orton dive?
No. Well, I'm doing his retweet from Rip Rogers, which I found hysterical. Yeah. I was like all about Randy Orton when he retweeted that. I was like, you're amazing. And I'm like, and I like half of this crap too. But still, I don't care. Yeah. I just love that you retweeted this. Just that alone. It was just amazing. I'm like, you're clearly, because the reason I like it is because it shows that he cares about the business. You're not just inheriting this because you went MIA and you went AWOL from the Marines and you're out of options. You're not just taking this down as a hand-me-down career from your dad. You're doing this because you care about the business. That's all I want from him. It's just show me you care about the business. I believe he does. I just want to see it.
And here's the thing: he's given us a lot of great moments, like especially around the RKO. A lot of people talk about it's very similar to DDP. DDP, very limited in the ring, very limited in the ring.
Also, bizarrely tall,
lanky, yeah.
But what about this? Like when he went against Foley and he took the thumbtacks, it's like, you're Randy Orton, you probably didn't have to do that, but he chose to do it anyway. And that's kind of crap I like. It's like, okay, you are taking this seriously. You're not.
But he was also considerably younger then.
Oh, I'm not asking him to do that now.
And a completely different person.
Yeah, and taking the garbage didn't, take him out of commission for, a couple of months.
Exactly.
No, I'm not asking him to take thumbtacks again. I'm just saying there are signs.
I agree, Zach Rowe. I rate the RKO over the Diamond Cutter.
I don't. I think it's close. It's getting closer, especially now. He is getting more. He's getting more innovative with it. But DDP has applied it for more interesting positions, or I've been more surprised by DDP executions.
From out of nowhere, huh?
Yeah. I hate that Michael Cole's ruined that, but yes.
There is not a single RKO or Diamond Cutter that is better than the Shooting Star Press one on Evan Bourne.
That's true.
It's just there are very few finishing moments in a match that are better than that.
Robert, I don't. Do I think the Universal title needs to go away? I don't remember seeing it, so I think it has gone away. So I think that solves the problem there. But yeah, I want it gone. Yes.
I would combine the two titles and make the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title the main titles on each show on television, defended every week. And
NWA ruling.
Yeah, pretty much. And then you have your main champion bounce between the shows depending on the feud. One month he's doing a SmackDown feud, the next month he's doing a Raw feud, or you have both guys meet him on both shows. It'll be the one storyline that covers both shows.
The one belt to unite them all.
Yeah.
And I hate Lord of the Rings, and I just made it. I'm making all kinds of references for stuff I don't like.
Sports.
Yeah.
HBK said something. You omitted him from something earlier. You chose not to be mean to him. He's learning. It's my influence. I take full credit for that. The curb stomp into the RKO, fantastic.
Yeah. See, there are good ones for sure. I just think overall lifespan career, I think DDP was better at executing and the interesting work. No, don't get me wrong. I think WCW's inferior camera work helps. Disguise them a little bit, but still.
It helps so many people. It helps the flippy dippies. It helps the guys who don't really, hey, I'm going to slap my thigh when I kick you with my black mask so it sounds cool, but I barely grazed you. Whoa, this is cool because tattoos and NXT.
See, I've always had
I hate fans.
Albert's the same way. I love the fans, and I remember multiple things. Not only do I remember that I A, am one, but B, I also remember that I know people disagree, especially when you work in the industry, but the fans make it a business, and that's 100% fact.
100%.
You
I
just
agree.
you don't have money without fans,
I
and if
agree.
you don't have no money, you do not have a business. Therefore, the
For sure.
customer is always right. I talk about
The customer is not always right in regards to if you are not trained in how to wrestle, you cannot tell someone how to wrestle.
no, but you can tell them what you want to see and what you will give them money for.
For sure. And how do you do that? You just don't buy it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Right.
You don't go there and play with a beach ball and try to be the show yourself because you can't control what's going on in there. Take your rude, ignorant behind out of my stadium. If I saw somebody doing that at a Capitol Wrestling show, I would mollywop them.
And for those of you who don't remember the 90s, that would be rough. But I get it. And Albert feels the same way. I don't mind. Because I don't view it as hijacking the show. Like, the wave has been something that has been done in sports, things forever. So,
Okay.
there's some people who hate the wave.
Sure.
I'm like, it was a baseball staple. And it was not fans hijacking the show. The wave is a perfectly innocent thing. It's fun.
But if you're doing it baseball's a bit different because this is 75 minutes between pitches. Jeez, baseball's rough sometimes.
I'm just saying, it's been a stadium thing forever.
But if you're doing that and you're not watching the match,
don't
comment on what you thought of the match because you didn't watch it. You can't say that a
I'm
match was
more
bad.
mad at fans being on their phone than the beach ball or the wave. Easily.
I agree with that.
Okay?
I agree with that.
That's the most egregious offense.
I agree with that.
And that's stupid.
Live in the moment.
Because what's stupid about that for me is that you paid for it, and then you're going to be on your phone. The other
You're
thing
paid to be there live
because
to watch
you know
it
what I hate that I do is that when they had the WWE show, I get drawn to looking at the Titantron every once in a while. And watching the match on the Titantron, I'm like, stop it! Look at the thing!
Well, that's also
great because I can see that. I can see it easier.
Yeah, for sure.
But Shane, because when Shane jumped off the cell at
Dallas,
WrestleMania,
right?
yeah, I'm like, do I film this with my phone because I want to? Do I look at the screen to get the better view because I was way back in the nosebleeds, or do I stand and run?
Live the moment. Yeah.
And that was great because you knew he was going to do it.
What did you choose?
I started filming on my phone and I didn't care if I got it or not. I was like, I have it on. I think I'm getting it, but if I'm not, oh well. But I am staring at this live. And I was so far back, I didn't know if he did the sign across. I couldn't see it. I assumed he did. Because if you're gonna, he does it for a lot. He's done it for less dangerous things. So,
see, Tim, you can't do that. Any fan on their phone should be banned. One, because it's their personal property.
Like an AEW shirt.
And two, which I disagree with, them doing that.
Yeah.
And two, they want them on their phones. Because here's the thing. All of those pictures that they're taking, they're tweeting, they're posting, they're getting more social media impressions on it. And they're taking those things home.
I don't mind the filming of it or pictures, but I'm talking about, just talking or texting while you're there. That's stupid. If you're going to film, because people took pictures all the time. Take pictures of it. That's cool. If that's what you're doing, that's fine. But I'm talking about the people who are clearly texting their girlfriend. Or something like that. And first of all, if you're a wrestling fan, you shouldn't have a girlfriend. What are you doing? You're a bad nerd. That's what I'm saying.
Speak for yourself. Never mind.
Liking and having is a different story.
That's a fair point.
Just like when we were, just like the Dave LaGreca thing, I told Albert, because Albert was spending Valentine's Day with his girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, what kind of wrestling fan are you? He's like, I know. He felt bad about it too. Stone Cold Stunner in WWE SmackDown versus 2K Raw is better than 19. Wow, that's a very specific thing to reference.
Yeah.
I haven't played 19, so let's just take your word on it. They should Rhino turn heel on Rhino really should not be wrestling anymore.
He's a box.
One of the gummy bad guys.
Yeah, he's a box.
He's an evil John Favreau.
I don't his head is an egg and he's a box. I don't get how that's possible. He is proportioned like a refrigerator box. I don't get it. Steve is taking Sami Zayn's gimmick with that hat. It's my gimmick. I'm on TV. He's not.
I'm a wrestling fan. Nikki Bella is my girlfriend.
Boo. Boo. Boo.
I forgot, Harry. You're right. I apologize. I have 51 subscribers. Oh, all right, buddy.
Cool.
I hope you didn't come here and just keep plugging yourself, because that's not going to fly for very long.
I would normally say Shrek is love, Shrek is life, but you know.
I also think Texas fans should be Texans.
Texans. Oh, there's a
despite all my sports references, I don't actually know anything about sports.
There's a running feud on the Discord between Tim and everybody because he thinks Texas has the best food, the best fans, the best everything. Typical Texas.
I got ripped off at Texas once when I was there. I ordered chili and there were no beans in it. It's like, what are they doing?
No beans in
I
the
can't
chili.
believe it. I only got part of my meal. Like they messed up.
See what happened? See what happened?
And, and then we went to Texas and I figured barbecue, but then it wasn't pork, it was beef.
Yeah.
It's like
It's everything.
they kept messing up everything over there.
We all know.
I love doing that to people from Texas because they get so mad when you act like, no, beef and barbecue is wrong, and beans have to be enjoyed. They get so. I used to torture this one guy from Texas. He got so mad at me. I used to torment him.
The most popular wrestler in Texas is Hayabusa, I hear. Steve, tell the fans not to subscribe to you. Okay, don't subscribe to TJ Fritz. As Big E used to say on Up, Up, Down, Down after they would give his Twitter, don't follow me.
Did you guys read that Meltzer's last tweet last November saying HBK not only in his dreams could. I'll read it. It's the close.
Well,
Sells
Dave Meltzer, that sentence structure is.
Yeah, I don't understand what I mean. Is it complimentary or
Earth
defaming? I'm not sure.
Well, because he needs to know which way to support it. If it's complimenting, he's going to say no. If it's
well, no matter what, I don't agree with these names being compared to each other.
Yeah, and Osprey does not sell 5 times better than anyone, except for maybe Dave.
See, here's the thing. We're going to talk about, like, I know your taste and stuff is hard to gauge sometimes. Like, I know you don't like Ricochet.
I don't,
and I expect you not to like Will Ospreay either.
I don't care for Ricochet as much as most people do. I think that he's a solid talent with a lot of charisma and a great look, but his style is just too acrobatic. It's too.
Flip you for real.
It's too flippy over substance. Why
his Gargano match proves that is so not true. But he has to keep. No, but my thing is his match against Will Ospreay. People make it sound like all it is a gymnastics competition.
It is.
They wrestle too. They do make contact. They do chain a little bit.
But it didn't mean anything. It didn't mean anything. Because after they've done all of these chain maneuvers and all of this stuff, they're doing 40 minutes into a match. You shouldn't be freaking Superman flying, flipping, jumping, and posing like superheroes in the middle of the ring. But Ronda's exposing the business. Get out of here.
See, here's the thing. They make very little contact, and the idea is that they're both showing off to each other and trying to see who... Are you up on this? That is what they were doing. And that was the story. But that was the story, though.
But you should be tired.
Is it minimalist? Is it low on the storytelling? And I'm not trying to make it sound like this is a technical... I'm not trying to make this sound like a Dean Malenko match or anything like that. But I do believe that match from certain fans gets too much credit. I don't think it's as bad in certain categories as some people make it out to be.
It's unwatchable to me as anything more than an athletic spectacle. And that's it. And that has no basis in logic if you're talking about what I like from wrestling. I don't fault anybody for enjoying that particular brand of wrestling.
I get how it's controversial. I did an episode where I was talking about its controversy, and I'm not... And so I'm not trying to, and I really want to make this clear, I'm really not trying to make it sound like this is Eddie and Benoit or anything like that. I'm just saying that I think...
But some people do.
It scores in certain categories, I think it scores a little higher than a lot of people give it credit for. Again, that might be a 2 instead of a 1, but it's still, I think it gets a bad rap because I think they're telling a story that's different than what you're used to. I do think it was because one of my favorite things is Rob Van Dam, Jerry Lynn, pinning combination ends with a ship pose down. That's what it was to me, but instead of doing their flipping and rolling around on the mat, they did it in the air.
Yeah. But but here's the thing. You know what happened in that match?
They
got tired. It slowed down. They grabbed a rest hold.
And in general though, we have seen them do wrestle as well, like Zack Sabre Jr. Will Ospreay. They are both.
My issues with Zack Sabre Jr. are mostly cosmetic.
But well, yes, I hear that. But I'm just trying to point out that Will Ospreay and Zack Sabre Jr. Of course they wrestle. So there are matches where they do wrestle. They are capable of it. So I don't like it when people, and I'm not saying that you are, but there are people who say that Ricochet can't wrestle and neither can Will Ospreay, and I'm like, I don't think that's true because I've seen it.
But it's the same people who will say John Cena can't wrestle. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you
the
should.
People who like Will Ospreay are definitely not the people who like the people who like Will Ospreay are not the same people who like Cena.
No, I'm saying they don't like it, but it's the same thing.
Oh, you're saying that they like Will Ospreay, but they don't like John Cena.
They don't like John Cena.
I hear what you're saying.
It makes no sense.
It does. No, it does to me. I mean, I don't like the finisher reversal stuff, no matter who does it.
You're saying, oh, well, they're so athletic, they can do these things, they need to do these things. Not you, the empirical you.
I like John Cena. I have defended on multiple occasions.
For sure.
But same thing goes where it does frustrate me, certain things that he knows how to do and he doesn't do it right. Like I know a lot of people hate that he's very aware of how to do the STF. He just doesn't. But I look at that he's putting his own spin on it, and I don't view it as the same move. I think they're different moves.
Yeah, and why?
I do think the label lock and the crossface are different moves. I know not everyone agrees to that.
And why would he? Because you said yourself today with those numbers.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. But
yeah, but why would he lock it in? I would like it if he made it, as Austin would say, just a little more snug.
Yeah.
But it's not affecting his bottom line.
But again, he has done it correctly once or twice.
Yeah.
Just to let you know he knows that.
Especially early on.
But it's like, why are you trying to troll the fans? Like, are you?
Oh, if it's Cena, absolutely. Because how much?
Dirty. Why would you do that?
How much crap has he gotten
but it's
over
so
the years
dirty.
for nothing? Of course he's trying, and he deserves
so
it.
Dirty.
John Cena is the Tom Brady of wrestling, and I want him to win as much as humanly possible. One, because I like him, and two, because it makes everyone mad. If he wins another 20 championships, I'll be okay with it. Just because of the reaction.
I have this goofy mentality where I don't want to piss my fan base off. Call me crazy, but it's just this mentality I have.
Sometimes the fans don't know what's best for themselves.
I agree. Sometimes you got to show it to them, but that doesn't happen as often as WWE thinks, because WWE thinks this happens every week.
Which it doesn't. Yeah.
You know, and my safe haven, my one non-negotiable, which I've abandoned forever, is that WrestleMania is supposed to be Christmas, so you're supposed to get what you want. The most over guy in the company walks out of the last match with that belt, and
I can see that school of thought because that's how it's been historically in the past.
If you want to torture me all year round, give me that. Which is why when people ask, how do I feel about, Becky being in the main event of Mania, and I've said for the most part I'm indifferent because I think she is the most. You could probably argue me out of this, but I feel she is the most over person in the company. So
she's the most over person in the company. She's not the biggest draw.
Right. But I want the most over person in the company walking out. So she walks out with that belt at the last match. I get it.
Yeah.
If you want to say,
WrestleMania should always end on a feel good moment.
But if you want to say it's AJ Styles, you could probably twist my arm and say, okay, maybe it's AJ Styles.
I wouldn't say AJ. His body.
He's a bigger draw.
I'd say he's a bigger draw.
Oh, he definitely is.
He's not more over, I don't think.
I think there was a time period where he was.
And
I think last year he should have walked out.
And Becky definitely has had better creative
than
he has in the past 8 months.
I'm just saying, if you want to tell me, so the most over person in the company, I don't care what you are.
Yeah.
You'll walk out with a gold
at WrestleMania
leather strap thingy out of the last match.
It should always end
unless it's Hogan and Rock, and then you don't need the belt, and then fine, just put them on last. That's like the one time where the title doesn't need to be last.
But they didn't know what they had there.
No, but that's their fault. They should have. They really should have.
I agree.
They also didn't know what they had with Hogan and Flair, and they let it go until WCW because they are stupid.
Yeah, and they never gave us Hogan and Austin. Hogan and Austin. Yeah,
they were going to give away Brock and Austin on free TV or cable TV.
While I don't agree, I agree that he was right. I don't agree with how he handled it.
I am okay with walking out because I look at a lot of guys like CM Punk. I get it.
How'd that work out for him?
No, but if it is true he had a staph infection, and they were going to make him wrestle anyway.
The
What
health
else are you
thing.
going to do?
You're
You
right.
should walk out.
You're right.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Okay, I take that back. I take that back for sure.
And it was the
I
same
forgot
thing.
about the staph infection.
Yeah. So I mean, and I also look. And my other caveat to walking out is, I don't like it when a guy just does what you're told to do. I don't like just following orders. If you really don't agree with it, just leave.
Yeah.
No, I don't agree that
Put your money where your mouth is.
there should be another. You should have another option. But yeah.
Well, now people do. Now they have AEW. Now they have Impact. Places to, well.
But here's the weird one. While I did not want Brock and Austin being thrown away on Monday Night Raw, which it shouldn't have. This is a match that a lot of people are mad about, but I'm oddly okay with it. Goldberg beating Hogan on Nitro. I don't know why that one doesn't bother me. It should. By all my logic, even I will admit, it makes no sense to me why that doesn't bother me. It was just such a surprise. Like, I was like, whoa, I can't believe Goldberg just beat Hogan.
That was also one of the first times they really did something like that.
And it
that
was-
was few and far between them. Like the 1, 2, 3 kid moment
Yeah.
was one of those kinds of things.
And because he had the U.S. belt, so you didn't think he was going to win that.
Exactly.
But also this was also when the decline for WCW and the Monday Night Wars, like they were beginning to struggle and they were beginning to think they're not winning it back.
Looking to pop.
So they were trying to do something to get it back. They're like, oh, it's not a friendly cute back and forth anymore.
We're getting a mud hole stomped in us.
Yes, Despo mode. So I maybe it's those reasons, but I found it. I was like oddly okay with that match happening. But I know a lot of people were pissed about it, said they ruined it. But here's my thing: the placement, because that happened in summer, they were kind of screwed. Because at 98 by Starrcade 98, that's when he lost the streak. You couldn't have him maintain the streak that long. You can make the argument maybe he should have done it at Bash at the Beach when, to tie into the NWO forming. Maybe I get that argument, but Goldberg just happened at the wrong time. He couldn't have done it in Starrcade 97 because that was Sting's. I finally screwed that up.
It should have been his moment. Yeah.
That was Sting 97. 98. Ship has sailed way too long. You could not have extended it that long. So, what were you going to do?
I say
Bash at the Beach is probably the best option you have, but still.
I say you bring back Ahmed Johnson as Big T, and
So yeah. So how do you feel like with the Goldberg Hogan thing? It
was fine. I have no problem with that. It was the right move, especially since something like that wasn't oversaturated at that point. It was something that they were trying to do, and if they did it on a pay-per-view, no one was watching it.
Stop it, Arthur.
They had way more eyes on Nitro than they were getting for their pay-per-view buy rates.
That is one thing that nobody seems to take into account is that WCW, while their ratings for weekly television were good, they bizarrely have very low pay-per-view numbers. A lot of people don't realize that.
And house show numbers too.
Yeah,
the house shows definitely did not sell.
Goldberg was probably the best draw for house shows.
Yeah, Nash used to say all the time. He was like, I feel like I'm wrestling in front of 7 people for a ham sandwich.
Like when you look at, because if you look at the top pay-per-view sales of all time, it's boxing and UFC. But then when you get to the wrestling stuff, it's WWE consistently. Like I can't even tell you when a WCW pay-per-view even sniffs shows up, because it's WWE dominant by a long shot.
Yeah.
And it's not just recently. Yeah, the highest ones are definitely more modern, but WrestleMania 15 is pretty high up there. WrestleMania 17 is also high up there. So
considered the greatest WrestleMania of all time by many people. AJ Envoy, Steve, what do you think of Dave putting The Rock at number 10 for greatest mic workers? I love you, Dave. Not trying to start an argument.
No, I love this too. And AJ, thank you. I actually wanted to talk about this with Steve too before you answer, because me and AJ, we were talking about this with Albert a little while ago, and because Rock's number 10, and we got into it. Where are you? And me and Albert were in agreement, which was surprising, and because it's actually surprising because me and Albert agree all the time. But so he takes issue with me and there are a lot of people. It's one of the biggest comments I get on that video is that I put Rock at number 10, and a lot of people say
that's too high for me as well. Number 10 is too high. I would put him in my top 25. I wouldn't put him.
And I knew you would. I totally knew you would. Please.
He's
enlighten them.
He's extremely sophomoric. 1, 2. He's like it's just the same catchphrases over and over again. Like it wasn't anything. Like his best years on the mic for me was when he came back as Hollywood Rock. I think that was the best work that he did on the mic. Other than that, he's just not very good. It's just the same promos, the same structure.
My biggest gripe.
It's not good.
My biggest gripe, and Albert was completely like, he couldn't even go along with the, hey, let's just debate for television kind of thing. He couldn't even go along with it. He goes, no, you're just 100% right. And my biggest gripe is that he buries people.
That too, yeah.
The old school, it's what I love about Mac with the Casey Navarro promo when we cut it. I told him right out there, it's like, I love that you don't completely crap on the guy.
Yeah, because if you crap on your opponent, you're crapping on yourself too. Because you're devaluing yourself. That why would you wrestle this guy if he's not worthy of you? You're still wrestling him.
And if you lose, who'd you beat?
Who'd you beat?
Oh, well, who'd you beat if you win? And if you lose, then you lost to
Then
nobody.
You lost to nobody. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's bad business.
And as I said it last time, if you guys weren't around, it's an old school NWA, WCW type of mic work. WWF, WWE has never 100% subscribed to the philosophy. They haven't.
Yeah.
I'll admit to it. And if you if you're a primary WWE, WWF guy, I mean, I am, but still, I understand you not abiding by that philosophy. But I think it's a sound philosophy, and not burying and not crapping on people. And again,
he crapped on Jericho too in his debut. I mean, it worked out.
He got because he's Jericho, and Jericho could survive anything from charisma standpoint. But also, it's the reason why Sting. He's the reason Sting didn't sign earlier with WWE. So it cost me that. We'll start there. I mean, I put him on the top 10. So this is not. I know the internet wants to make everything all or nothing. I do like The Rock. I did find him funny. But clearly Steve thinks he belongs to He's charismatic, but
he's Cena. You know what I mean?
No, but Cena has put people over on the microphone.
Well, yeah, no. What I'm saying is structure-wise and the way that they do their promos as a babyface is very similar.
Yes.
A lot of catchphrases. They are a brand name.
Yeah.
They're giving you brand name promos. This is a Rock branded promo. This is a John Cena branded promo. You know you're going to get it.
AJ would like to speak with you.
He buried Booker T and Billy Gunn. Which AJ? There's two of them.
AJ Envoy.
AJ Envoy. Okay, here's my thing. Rock became a megastar due to his catchphrases. He didn't need to tell deep stories like Foley because he was so over with the
And yes, Foley was underrated on the mic.
For sure. I don't think you can match Rock's charisma on the mic. Maybe Flair, Austin, or Hogan can do that. Maybe. Hogan is one of the best talkers in the history of the business. I would probably put him number 2 behind somebody known as Jake the Snake Roberts. How about Ted frickin' DiBiase? You're telling me that The Rock is putting together better stuff than Jake the Snake. It's not happening. You're telling me he's more charismatic? He's a naturally charismatic guy? But it's just shallow, lack of substance nonsense. I would put him in the top 25 because at least he has a presence. But his substance is garbaggio.
I assumed you needed water.
Thank you.
I assumed you wanted water.
Thank you.
But here's the thing. Or shall I say,
Foley is a better promo.
It's amazing to me because AJ did think he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to get Steve on my side. Because Albert was pretty skaty. It was the same thing. It's like, I made my points, but like Albert was kind of pissed about it. And now it's like, well, Steve's a different story. Oh no, this is going to be worse. This was going to be better than Albert. This is going to be worse than Albert.
Like I said before, his best work that he did on the mic was Hollywood Rock because it was something different. His babyface and his heel stuff, it was essentially the same, with the exception of, know your role and shut your mouth. I'm a corporate champion. Know your role and shut your mouth. Like, it was just catchphrase after catchphrase after. Poontang Pie. Okay, what did he do when he came back? When he frickin' did Cena the first time? Poontang Pie again. It's Fruity Pebbles. It's all the same childish nonsense. He's a brand. That's what you're getting. And he doesn't write his own stuff. Sorry, you can't be a top talker if someone else is writing 90% of your stuff.
Unfortunately, that means nobody in the modern era can be.
Oh, in modern era.
Unfortunately, that means nobody can be.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
my other point that I wanted to bring up was that if his catchphrases were so selling, and I do believe he's a money draw, and he did sell a lot of merch, but all those T-shirts, here today, gone tomorrow. Like, they sell when they first come out. No argument there. They generate
There's no iconic T-shirt.
Just bring it as and that's Austin 316, historic. Did he have
Hulk rules?
Yeah. You can buy those shirts now. All right, Austin 316 is easily.
Just Bring It is probably the only one of the roster.
And that's not even a good shirt.
It's not. seeing as Lady Part's still trending worldwide.
There's no way to talk about Nikki Bella, Harry. I had to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Harry.
Well done.
It was right there. I had to take the shot.
Oh yeah, we're seeing it from a different point of view. Here's the thing. If someone is to tell me that they think that The Rock is in the top 10, sure. If that's what you enjoy, fine. But for me, he would maybe make the top 25. And
I
that's
put him
being
at a 10.
generous.
And I put him at a 10, and I felt I put him in 10 as a general principle. I kind of just thought he goes there. But
Nick Bockwinkel. You're telling me The Rock can talk better than Nick Bockwinkel? Get out of here.
He is going to tell you that.
Get out of here.
No way.
Randy Savage.
Boots to ass is not. And I felt bad about and I wanted to shove like 20 guys on there because I also wanted to put Jay Lethal on that list, and I didn't. And I actually, Jay Lethal I want to put on, but I actually ousted him for The Rock.
The Rock was an average wrestler too.
Well, nobody's talking about that. That's not. Average is being nice.
He gets like all this praise for being like one of the greatest of all time. If you're talking about draws and the ability to get eyes on him,
True Sinister, you don't even have to ask.
The Rock or Jericho? Jericho. 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 In every statistical, measurable, quantifiable category, Chris freaking Jericho.
Who has shorter hair?
Okay, you got me.
Because Albert, just like you, favorite wrestler of all time, Chris Jericho.
Okay, HBK and Chris Jericho. 1A and 1B.
See the door. So but because Albert feel like I love that AJ wanted this because and look, AJ, I'm not mad. I wanted this. I really wanted this. So I'm glad this happened. But this is so entertaining to me because I get so much crap on that video. People tell me that Rock is easily #1 and you are wrong. I'm like, this is my opinion list.
Yeah,
How am I wrong on my opinion list?
Yeah.
And there was one guy that I actually responded to when I said it, and I laid it out. I said, I don't like that he buried people. I'm not asking that you have to. This is just my thing. And I thought this was going to start it. And he goes, oh, and his response was, no, I can understand that. Like it was just over. I'm like, well, okay. I was like, that was actually a very tame conversation on that. I get it now. It's like that's one of the older videos that I continuously get, and I only made that video because someone asked me to. It was a fan request, and I just made it. Matty Action. Me and Slice used to work with this guy, Matty Action, and he was getting married, and he said, dude, can you do that? I'm like, okay, all right, cool. And that was the only reason I did it. But to this day, it's one of the older videos that gets commented on.
See, okay, Rock today is still a guy who can perhaps turn the business around to a degree. Foley can't do that. There's two reasons for that. One, The Rock is a movie star.
Two,
The Rock is more known as a movie star than a professional wrestler.
Two, Foley is missing a hip.
He's missing an ear. He's missing
Foley can't go anymore.
most of his brain. Foley is also older. Foley also did a lot more in the ring and was not. I hate the fact that The Miz gets so much crap about being safe and working a safe style, but The Rock works a more safe style and is praised.
Yeah, I don't like people dumping on The Miz.
The Miz is better than The Rock. Put it on a T-shirt, on the mic, in the ring. You don't like me? Fight me.
No, if the live stream audience got the views that like my main show gets, wow, the heat that we get thrown out there. I know. Oh, wait for I really okay. AJ 2000 on AJ 2000 and AJ Envoy kind of like hate each other.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what's coming.
Battle of the AJs.
Yeah. The narratives in the wrestling star.
Rock is not a movie star because of what he did in the WWF. I don't believe that at all.
No, I think that's true.
He got his opportunity, yes.
Yeah.
But you remember his career stunk until he focused on that.
Haku Machete.
Get out of here. The Tooth Fairy.
I know.
All of his career until he focused on becoming an actor on his own was awful. Was awful.
I feel like AJ Envoy's head is about to explode.
Steve is right. I agree with Steve.
But this is amazing because like there's a lot of things I get flack for. When I like Matt Hardy better than Jeff Hardy. I get a lot of crap for it.
I agree.
But the live stream audience, is on my side about that one. Like the Know It All Nation, not everybody tends to be on my side. The big thing that no one likes that you don't want me to talk about, but there are people on just who are of my mindset, and they were like, I thought I was the only one who hated him. I'm glad to see someone else does too. Because it's like, and that's how it is. I have things that I've always thought were unpopular, but again, I have a very niche audience that we're, for the most part, not everybody and not on all things, but kind of
agree or generally have the same idea of what they enjoy.
Yeah, that's why
I'm
we're
not
like
bugging. You're bugging. You're bugging, AJ Envoy. If you want to continue this conversation throughout the week, make sure you join the Dave Knows Wrestling Discord.
So here's the question. I mean, I do like The Rock to a degree. I don't love him.
Yeah.
I think he is entertaining to a degree. But there's certain things that I don't like.
It wears off.
But even beyond the burying thing, I can't use him to convey emotions. I can't use him to propel a plot in wrestling. Movie, fine. Jumanji or whatever. But I can't get him to deliver an emotion other than I'm better than you.
Yeah, smarmy.
Yeah, I can't.
And that doesn't.
And I need emotion. I need emotional changes. I need emotional response. I need ring psychology. I know, a dirty word, but
he's got the stupid face. He's got a dumb
jeez,
face.
all right, chill. I'm not going that.
When he's trying to convey emotion, he's a great looking guy. Don't get me wrong. Like I look like an old shoe. And I'm talking about one of the biggest movie stars and sex symbols right now in the world. But what I mean when he has a stupid face is when he's cutting his promos, he has the same face. He's in between this fake smile thing that he does and a blank stare. I'm just Steve Blackman is better on the mic.
I like that you have stunned AJ Envoy into repeat mode where he just is going to say Miz better than The Rock ?
I think the Miz is
you
better
got him stuck on loop, but he said it before. Like you have him on loop now. Like he is so dumbfounded. He cannot comprehend what he has just heard. You have stunned him into repeat.
Now notice what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the Miz has had a better career than The Rock or more of an impact on the business than The Rock. That would be foolish. I just think that The Miz is a better professional wrestler than The Rock.
You also should bring up that he's done it longer.
Longer than The Rock, more consistently. Wow.
Yeah, and it's like I like The Rock. I put him at 10. I thought that was fine. And it's just something where people can't accept it. They want me to say a different answer. I'm like, and I've said it over and over again. I'm like, okay, fine. People just value things differently. Yeah. The burying thing bothers me. It really does. It's like safety is a factor, but I don't have. I'm not strict. It's not like I put one trait above everything else. It's like multiple categories. I never stopped and done the math or anything, but this is probably my most important category. If you are stronger enough in this category, yeah, maybe I can overlook certain parts of it.
For sure.
Austin's my favorite wrestler. Was he the safest? No, he's hurt people.
His nickname might as well be Yukon Gold for all the potatoes.
I mean, Benoit and Rob Van Dam are on my list, and they're definitely not safe workers. But I do appreciate money drawing. But it's also not my number one thing either. But I do appreciate the ability.
But it is a part of it. Miz is one of the worst wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. See, that's just. I think that is a foolish statement.
I think people are over. I've said it too. I got flack for it in my video where I talked about. I said if you had to pick a traditional old school heel, somebody who's doing things the correct way for what they are, right now, who is it? I said it was the Miz. Like this is a guy that people just. If you give him any praise, well, recently it's kind of lightened up. Yeah. Or he's kind of waning again. But there was a period of time where he was actually hot enough where it was fine. But I did that video beforehand, and it was like Miz was a trigger guy. If you praise him, people get mad.
How dare you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But the Miz but I've liked the Miz since day one.
But say the Revival are so great.
What did you do with the Revival?
It's just there's nothing there. They don't have great bodies. They don't have a good look. You know what I mean? They're basically rehash, and they're working a nostalgia gimmick.
Yeah.
But
they don't have nostalgia bodies.
They don't have they don't have anything behind them.
They have great tag team psychology. They really do.
I agree with you there. But they don't have anything behind them in terms of their presentation outside.
They're bland. Okay, I'll give you that.
It's Melba toast. It's the Revival is on the main roster is the tag team equivalent of going to a diner and then putting coleslaw on your plate. No one's eating it. You take that coleslaw and you move it the hell away. You put back in the day, you put a cigarette in it so no one else could eat it. You don't wish it on anybody. That's the revival on the main roster.
On the main roster.
In NXT, they were presented differently.
Well, yeah. Well, you're based with presentation, not them.
It's a little of both. It's a little of both. They have to have the perfect circumstances to succeed.
I don't love the name The Revival. I actually preferred it when they were the Mechanics because I thought that worked better.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so I have a tag team with 2 Dean Malenkos. I ain't bitching about this.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I'm not afraid of no hot takes. Come on, fight me.
Yeah, because you haven't really gone off on the live stream.
It's been a while since I've gone off at all. I tend to not get too worked up about this stuff because it's like someday these comments might come back to haunt me.
Oh.
But I if I met The Rock, I would tell him this after saying, "Hey, sir, thank you for your contributions to the business." You know, if that conversation came up, I would still say the same things.
Right. I forgot. It was like I didn't really have a conversation, but I did not with Goldberg. I was like, I don't even want to talk to you.
Yeah. Oh, at the Boardwalk Beatdown.
Yeah, so yeah. Which I think is one thing because people say, well, what happened? If so and so did this, like, would you change it or you just stubbornly hate it? I'm like, no, I will change my mind on people. Like, I hated Rusev when he first started, but then as much as I don't like the John Cena burial thing. I think the loss damaged his career. Yeah, I do think it happened. In certain capacities, Rusev's wrestling, I think, has improved since.
I think so.
When he stopped being squash monster undefeated streak guy,
he definitely seems more comfortable in the ring.
And he started wearing shoes, which also is a benefit because I can't stand barefoot wrestlers. It's just
I love Sonny Kiss, but Sonny Kiss is not better than The Rock on the microphone. Let's stop being ridiculous in there. No offense to Sonny Kiss.
Okay, maybe we play this game. Maybe I will think of 3 wrestlers that I'm curious to know if they're close and what I think you think The Rock is at, and I want to see who is better. But let me see.
So I'm telling you who's
better, The Rock or the person I am.
In what capacity? As an overall professional wrestler?
On the mic.
Just on the mic. Okay, just on the mic.
Oh.
This could be fun.
I'm going to start with an odd one.
Okay.
Tommy Dreamer. It's an odd one.
The Rock, but not by much.
And a lot of people are like, did he just say Tommy Dreamer? I'm like,
Rock, but not by much. Because Tommy Dreamer is a guy
I knew you would get it.
Draws so much sympathy. He's a guy, you want to talk about a guy who connects. They make the thing that, the Sandman's the everyman. No. The Sandman is who the everyman wishes they would be. Tommy Dreamer is the everyman.
Oh, no, I kind of wish I was with Beulah.
That's fair.
But yeah, I knew you would get it.
Not too far off.
But there is no doubt there are some people who said, did he mention on a mic conversation The Rock and Tommy Dreamer in the same
sentence?
Yeah. There are people right now whose heads are just exploding.
It's because they're thinking with their nostalgia brain. They're not.
No, I'm sure if you said this in 20 years ago, people would still have the same reaction.
No, but what I'm saying is they're thinking with the narrative that's been pushed at this point.
Yes.
They've had 20 years of people saying, The Rock is one of the greatest talkers of all time. He's one of the greatest talkers of all time. It's been said so much by so many, like, it's almost like you feel obligated to say it, so more people start saying it.
I fully believe WWE does that a lot. They push things they want to. I mean, a weird thing about The Rock is they pushed him as the first WWE third-generation superstar. Jared's grandfather wrestled. I always wanted to know, why does no one bring this up?
Because no one likes...
Not WWE, I mean anybody. How come nobody... Jared Morris, how come they don't bring it up?
Because most people don't like the South.
But there are Southerners who...
I know.
I'm just saying, how come none of you guys are bringing it up? I brought it up in a video because I was like...
genuinely intrigued.
I'm like, I should bring it up. I mean, as a New Yorker, I shouldn't, but fine, I guess I will. Rock just barely. Okay, Rock. That's not a contest. Raven wins. I'm sorry. That's not even. I'm not asking that because that's easily Raven.
Yeah, easily. So who is your second one?
Oh, right. Well, okay, here's the weird part, though. I didn't put Raven on my top 10 list, but I think the Raven is better.
Raven is better.
Here's the thing.
There's more substance there, better control. The thing that knocks Raven down for a lot of people is he's very esoteric, and he's much smarter than the average wrestling fan. So a lot of it went over your dumb heads.
I said in the video that in my top 10 evolves. I don't like doing top 10 lists because it will change. It depends on my mood.
It should never be static.
Yeah, maybe I have a 1 or 2 that's pretty solid. But after that, I will flounder a lot. Raven, I don't remember if I put him on the top 10 list or not. I feel like I probably should have, and I may have. I'm not 100%. But Rock, I will flat out admit I put him at number 10 out of a general principle, and I didn't really want to.
Yeah, because
I did want to put Jay Lethal over. Jay Lethal. How about that? That'll be not my number 2.
See, it's hard to gauge because of different levels.
Yes.
If they were on the same level, do I think Jay Lethal could perform on the mic as good as The Rock? Honestly, I don't think so.
Oh, so you're giving it to The Rock?
I'm going to give it to The Rock.
That's surprising.
Not by much, but only because of where they are.
And that's where I'm looking. I'm trying to put guys that
Where
are
they
close. But yeah.
Yeah, not. The only edge that The Rock has is that he's done it in front of more people, more consistently. The bigger lights, the bigger stages, that makes a difference. And whereas most of Jay Lethal's best stuff has been being other people, not necessarily being himself.
Counter if it goes. All right, this one I think it's this one's probably the biggest margin. I think I know the answer, but I am curious.
Okay.
Scott Hall.
Scott Hall's way better. Way better. He's way better on mic.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Way better. It's not even close.
But counting the times here, he may not have been in suitable working conditions.
Does it lower him?
That's the key.
I still give it to Scott Hall.
Okay.
Because even his gibberish was at least original.
He says The Rock over. Ooh, actually, take away the Scott Hall thing. Dean Ambrose.
John Moxley, yes. Dean Ambrose, no.
Career.
Whole career.
Career versus career. Because
on the mic, I would say Dean Ambrose. I'd say John
okay,
Moxley.
because I actually like that one. That's better than the Scott Hall thing. But the Scott Hall thing I wanted to bring up was because of his unreliability.
Yeah.
The Rock is, but True Sinister, thank you for bringing up the shit because I didn't want that Dean Ambrose made me think Dean Ambrose. That was a good answer.
Dean is way underrated pre WWE.
But his Shield promos were very good.
The first iteration of the Shield.
Yes,
he was the mouthpiece, and Roman was the secondary mouthpiece. Seth Rollins, no one wanted to hear him
speak.
That is
one thing I feel that nobody seems to remember is how bad. I mean, horrendously.
Seth was
horrendously bad on the microphone.
Wasn't good.
He inflected incorrectly.
Do you remember when he used to do the
yes. It was so bad. Like Seth's improvement is
one of the greatest.
Yeah,
one of the greatest. I would say. Man,
jeez, TJ. Oh my goodness, man.
Give me one more. I got one.
Oh, you like this?
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Because so far, I don't think I'm making any. I think people are kind of getting this, and they're like,
Yeah.
okay, we're not as mad anymore. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's not the thing that anyone was like fearing him. Arn Anderson.
Damn. That's hard. Because Arn is a different type of catchphrase machine, though.
Yes, he is.
He's saying the same thing every time, but he's saying it in a slightly different way. So that's why I want to give the nod to Arn.
Joseph Bradshaw, a lot of people don't want to hear my answer on that one, but yeah.
I'm going to go with Rock.
Really?
I'm going to go with Rock only because
you grew up on this side of a Mason-Dixon line.
Well, that could be a factor. I'm not going to deny the bias there. But The Rock could also appeal to more demographics than Arn. Arn was the same guy his entire career, whereas The Rock was doing the same things, but he was doing it to multiple different audiences. So I would take The Rock over that if you're talking about his words can penetrate.
Zach Rose with you. But yeah, it is a tough one.
Yeah.
So
Austin Aries over The Rock? I don't think so.
No, I
Austin
don't
Aries
either.
is just a prick. Pardon my Brooklyn.
I wasn't gonna say that. But
I mean, that's his gimmick.
oh, I get you. Yeah, it's Psycho Sid.
Psycho Sid's an underrated promo.
Samoa Joe or The Rock. It was what Joe suppressed. Here's where this gets confusing, or at least goes into debate. I think Joe is a way more effective heel than The Rock on the microphone.
Yeah.
On the microphone than The Rock. I don't know if he can be as effective as a babyface. So
I don't think he can. Yeah.
in one particular scenario, I give it to Joe.
And then the other, so it would be 50-50.
Yeah, so
They
that's
would
why
be-
that's tough.
They would be even then. I would say fairness-wise, they would be even. Plus, there's
But-
not enough of a sample size as Joe as a babyface.
Well, the closest to a babyface, and he wasn't really even babyface, but that feud with Brock.
yeah.
He was getting over like there was no tomorrow. People were in full-blown belief that he was taking down the beast. Fine, that's Brock's hatred.
That was an
What-
anti-Brock thing.
Whatever. Count it if it goes. That's why I said the
Count it.
closest.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying the closest. I didn't say it is.
Heidenreich's poem, more over than the Rock concerts.
You're gonna talk about poetry. It's the genius.
Right?
It's not being some
Please, leaping Lanny Poffo.
perfect one. You nothing.
Rollins isn't a main eventer. I disagree.
I think he's the best of what they got right now for Raw.
For sure. I mean, if you go down that roster,
I mean, I have a video coming. Oh no, it came out right.
It came out.
on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I know there are people who don't think Rollins is a main eventer. I also know there are people who say that Seth Rollins is not a babyface. I don't necessarily agree with either of those statements.
I think that he's a babyface right now. I don't think that he's.
Oh, not
great
that
babyface.
not that he not that he isn't a babyface. That he can't be a good babyface.
I think that he can.
That's what I
we've talked about this, and Lance Storm has mentioned this as well. He's in that spot, that Cena spot, where he's the MC of the show. He has to talk about how great it is to be there, how great the show is, what's coming up, all of this other stuff that has nothing to do with his character, and that's not necessarily on him. Someone has to play that role. Unfortunately, he's the one to do it.
And I look at Seth Rollins, and I applaud him for his improvements, but specifically, I think the reason why he's a main eventer is, well, I have no problem with wrestling getting you over. I think sometimes just let the best wrestler be the most over. I think it's okay. But I look at the week upon week for a while now. The best thing I saw on Monday Night Raw was a Seth Rollins match. Seth Rollins versus blank, Seth Rollins versus whatever. And it's enough times where I say it's not like he's getting carried or it's not like the other guy. It's happened consistently enough where I thank him for being the most enjoyable part of whatever I was watching. Backlash pay-per-view. They're live. Him and The Miz, easily the best match on that card. And it's not like it happened later, it happened first. So it's not like I was in the desert and just desperate for anything and I just latched
You
on to it.
weren't Tristaning it up, half asleep,
Right.
eating steak taquitos
Right.
from 7-Eleven.
Because Dolph Ziggler versus Kurt Angle at Crown Jewel. When I was watching it, I'm like, this match is amazing.
Yeah.
Then I rewatched. I'm like, well, that
It's not
wasn't
that
good.
good.
It was just in that card
In that
at
context.
that moment. I thought it was great because I was desperate for water.
AJ 2000.
Oh, so
Mojo Rawley shouldn't be allowed in the same room as microphones or cameras.
or apparently oxygen, and definitely not cocaine. Oh, Terrell Davis, don't. Sorry, I know I've fallen behind on it, but I've been playing continual catch up on this channel. So yeah, I'm behind on it. The script is half written. It's just I know I'm behind it. I know, and the sad part is this is going to be the script is actually written by Elmer this time. So but because I'm getting some help with that because it's getting that behind. But don't worry, it's going to happen. CM Punk. Oh, CM Punk. Well, I put CM Punk over the Rock, but I said the pipe bomb alone gets him on. The pipe bomb alone puts him in my top 5.
Straight Edge Society puts him in the top 5 for me.
I'm just saying, if
I
he
think
did nothing but the pipe
no,
bomb, because that's how much that meant to me.
Same thing for me with the Straight Edge Society stuff. I think that was some of the best. That is fucking, pardon my Brooklyn, that is Memphis. That is so Memphis it hurts.
However, what really made no sense to me about that is that was when they were starting the PG era push, and then you take the straight edge guy and make him a heel. I'm like, this is again WWE logic makes no sense.
But I think they naturally knew that no one wanted to.
I'm just saying, I don't get them sometimes. I just don't get it.
Why would you get them?
Yeah.
There's
All
no
right,
reason
but yeah.
to.
Let's not start wrapping this up.
Yeah.
But yeah, great having you on. Sorry, AJ Envoy, that you think without the marriage and stuff, Triple H would have the same wrestling career. Absolutely not. I don't think the Reigns era had this.
Probably not. I don't think he would have been.
No, absolutely not. He wouldn't have as many world titles as he does. Absolutely not.
I don't know, man. There were some lean years there.
Yeah, but he has almost as much as Flair. And it's not like that WWE did a lot. It's rare. But okay, so thank you guys for being here. Jesus Farrell, thank you again for the super chat. If you're still here, Base Up, also thank you for the super chat. Thank you. You guys, awesome with the super chats. And Jesus also a Patreon supporter, and you can go over and support me on Patreon. And all of you guys who gave me a thumbs up, thank you for the thumbs up, 22 thumbs up, and just thank you for being here and contributing to the conversation. This is a lot of fun today. So thanks so much for watching, and as always.
Don't forget, Capital Wrestling, tomorrow night, Hoboken, New Jersey. Got to make sure I get that plug in. Tomorrow night, come, Capital Wrestling, Hoboken, New Jersey, 301 Garden Street. Episode number 100 is up and live. Go watch it. Go see me make fun of who Dave Samadi called in an email. Howie Turjanian.
And you can also check out the Royal Ramble radio show. And shout out to Dave LaGreca for wearing a Dave Knows Wrestling t-shirt. Thanks, buddy. And as always, Dave knows.